Okay. So, last time you actually managed to avoid the majority of combat. Guy was almost mugged in the street. Well, Carrick was almost mugged in the street
No
by
witness.
beggars. One witness, but they're a beggar. Beric was almost in a fight with Mr. Hansen's bodyguard. But you had a wonderful shopping session where you got to buy lots of new
Finally.
lovely equipment. Repair your shit, get ready, find a new, possibly companion that you don't really know anything about yet, other than they're a strange looking elf.
She's a creepy
And
bitch.
had the threat thrust upon you by Mr. Hansen that you would not get paid. After which everybody got drunk in the bar and Carrick tried to burn down his house.
Su- half
Allegedly.
successfully.
Allegedly.
Half successfully. I will.
You damaged his house, but didn't really burn it down.
You
But
Well,
damaged his neighbor's
He
house.
can't live. He can't live in it. In that. And anyway, he's gonna have a wild draft, surely.
it'll need to
No,
get
no,
fixed.
it was the. Was it not the roof of the
The
neighbor's house?
roof of the neighbor's house was burnt off, but the back
You
of
just scorched the walls of it.
yeah, like the walls are burnt and blackened pretty bad. Some of the wall has crumpled down. It was burnt that bad, but it's not going to be hard to
Knowing him,
patch the
he
hole.
probably would be like, I can't live in this squalor now. I
Oh,
must build a new house.
he does own the wood trade, so. But
Probably alright.
afterwards, Carrick left in fear of being found out for killing two people in the street and burning down a house, so left in front of the party, and then was followed by everybody else, and you're all camped about a mile or so away from the entrance to the hideout. You
Is
can,
Carrick with us now?
yeah, we'll just say you
Well,
caught up and all met up.
oh, that's alright.
Okay, so Airbalm and Rin, you sort of stay here and make camp, and we'll be back. Is what
Never.
time of day is it? Is it night near
Uh,
nightfall?
it's getting pretty late into the day.
We will be back in the morning.
Okay, so just as you're looking around and taking a look at all the trees and the vegetation around you, you are seeing that it is starting to discolor and turn shades of yellow and red and brown. Even the like fir trees, the evergreen trees, well, that we would call evergreen trees, are starting
It's
to
autumn
change.
time.
And it looks as though you're now quite a good bit into autumn, maybe well, about a week or so. So things are starting to change rather quickly. And it is starting to get quite a bit colder as well.
It matters not because I've got my winter clothes.
Yes, you can always switch out your winter clothes for your normal
I
clothes
can't remember
anytime you
if I
want.
bought winter
You
clothing
did
or not.
not.
I did not. Right. Big old furry coat maybe would be needed.
I'll just kill a bear.
Where it's pelt.
Yeah.
So you're going to
Samuel has joined Roll20, except
yes,
he
he
hasn't
has.
joined Discord.
We'll just keep going until he does.
Right.
So
How dare you interrupt the roleplay to announce something that everyone has obviously seen?
so you're going to go ahead and make your way towards the hideout.
Yes, we shall make to the hidden entrance.
Okay.
If I can remember where it is.
Neither can I.
Both of you roll perception
Oh,
with
God.
advantage. With advantage, because
Oh, character sheet. We haven't done this in a wee while. I'm trying to get.
it's only been a couple days, guy.
Oh fuck.
It's been long enough for me to forget pretty much
Where the
everything.
frig is this place? Looking about.
It's only your second time going there, so
Seven.
and it has
Disadvantage.
It's been a
Disadvantage.
traumatic
advantage.
couple of days.
Yes, well, it's been more like
Advantage.
almost 3 weeks since you were there. So
Perception. Why did that not roll?
It's
What
because you're
did?
downloading at the same time.
Ah,
Macaulay.
thank
Oh, that is
thank
also why.
thank the
S-
gods for Macaulay's Elven eyes.
So, as you're going along trying to remember where the entrance actually is, since you've only been there once before, it does
Eric,
take
where
you
the fuck?
it does take you a while until Carrick does spot uh, the the rocks that are covering the entrance against one of the hills.
Nice.
Though it is almost dark now.
We
Is it-
shall enter into the cave,
Okay.
and I shall do the secret whistle.
That really hurt my ears.
That was very loud. Well, just said you said the whistle, but there is a silence for a little bit, and then to the right side you see a shaft of light come off the wall as one of the hidden doors begins to open up.
Woohoo! We shall enter into the Jan Heideck then.
You.
Okay, so as you're entering through the door and starting your way down the passageway, you pass the first guard station where there's a man sitting with a book. The look gives you both a strange look as you walk by, and then starts writing something in the book as you walk on past.
Do we see Damien about?
Not yet. You would just have walked through the first door to the guard post, and now be exiting the second door into a. Actually, I'll just bring
Load up,
you.
load up the map.
Oh yes, the on map that we've been here twice and sort of forgot about.
So
Can't remember.
you would be coming out of this door over here on the right side,
Oh, okay.
just into like the general like eating and meeting area.
Hold on, I've got to zoom out here. Flipping big.
It is a
foldy of
big map.
Right, I'm in the main cave, are we?
You're over here on
Oh,
the right
right,
side.
we've made it there already. Flip
So as we enter, is anyone even saying it's late in the day? Is anyone even in this area?
Currently, there is no one in that area. It is empty. The fire that would have been lit for cooking purposes is also not lit at the minute.
Okay. I wonder if we go to. We'll walk on through then to the mains. Like, so there's no one here at all.
No one in that cooking and eating part because it's almost like dark. Like it's pretty much sunset. Since you
Oh,
kind of
okay.
got lost on your way of finding the entrance.
Well, we'll go into the main sleeping area then, and if no one's awake, then we'll maybe just see if we can grab a wee
Wait a
bit.
minute.
Yeah,
What about Umar?
he's with you
I think
Oh,
we will.
okay.
because he is a tryout member, but he's pretty much past
He's a
the
fully
thing.
fledged member now after what he's did.
Yes. So he's with you. He's never been here before. So he's like taking note of everything you're doing, like the whistle, where the door is, the guard, everything. So going into the sleeping area, you go in, you see all the beds. Most of them are empty, but there are a few that have people sleeping in them. There's like
Okay.
dim lit torches on the walls, not very bright, but enough to give you the light to see where you're going.
Basically describing the Thieves Guild from Skyrim.
Only this is a cave, not a sewer.
It's in a cave, not in a sewer.
I wonder if Selma would still be awake.
It's only one way to find
Uh,
out.
Go over and knock on Selma's door.
Is she
How
gonna do it?
forcefully do you knock on the door?
Oh, not very forcefully. Not very.
So you just like a lightly knock?
Just a light knock. Yeah.
Let me determine something then.
Roll a strength roll.
What the fuck do you got?
Okay, so there is no response, or you don't hear any movement from inside.
Okay.
Kick the door down,
is- are there any
Eagle.
are there any beds free?
Oh yeah, there's quite a few of the beds free.
Okay, then we'll just settle in and sleep for the night, and then hopefully we'll get talking to people in the morning.
So you both wanna like rest the night, yeah? I'm
Yes.
assuming. Okay. So both pick yourself a bed around the edge. Quickly drift off to sleep as your journey over the past couple of weeks has been very tiring, even after your stay in the town for a while. But you drift off quickly and sleep pretty peacefully throughout the night. The beds are actually a lot more comfortable than you would have guessed they would be. But as morning starts to come, who's going to wake up first? Or is there a specific time you want to wake up?
Probably just
Enough time to make sure
Like
that I
about
can get a
7.
second breakfast.
So pretty early.
Yeah, pretty
So-
early.
As you wake up, you're both pretty much coming to consciousness at the same time, and as you're looking around, remembering, oh yeah, like, we're in the guild cave, and look down near the bottom of your bed, you do see a chair has been pulled up, and Selma is sitting roughly between where your two beds are in a chair, waiting for you both to wake.
Why did you knock, you dumb cunt?
She's just sitting there staring at you with her arms crossed, one like leg folded up on top of her other knee, just casually waiting.
I quickly climb out of bed and just sort of in a panic, just waiting for her to say something.
In your normal clothes.
Reporting?
Luckily.
Reporting vegetarian.
Unless you want to sleep in a specific set of clothes.
Full nude.
So Carrick is full nude in his
No!
sleep.
No, I am not.
Can't go back to it now.
So she's still just sitting there, like just
Shit.
slowly glancing back and forth between both of you. Just not saying anything.
Selma.
She just gives you a nod. We heard you were both dead.
Obviously not.
Well, I'm sorry to say that the stories of our death are incorrect at best.
Hmm.
We have much to discuss.
Indeed, we do. You have been missing for what must be at least 3 weeks now since you left. I'm very curious to hear your tales of what happened.
Our tails?
And she leans back more in her chair, expectantly.
What other
Uh,
tails are there? I'm curious.
Word travels quickly. I have many eyes and many ears.
Right.
Well, I suppose we'll start at the beginning. Basically,
It's gonna-
just
This is going to be a lot of recall, and I don't know if I'll remember every
tell her-
detail.
tell her everything truthfully, except
Except the money part.
leave out the part where
We stayed in the entire town and took all the money.
no, keep that part in. Well, don't say about. We'll just say we took a reward from the town. But just leave out the bit where Carrick.
Burned down the house
You know,
of,
I'm gonna tell my version of the story and just leave out the bit that with Carrick sort of getting in trouble with the lumber mill yard person
The
Mr.
ghetto's getting
Hanson.
whipped. That
Yeah,
part. Okay.
I'm leaving that bit out, and I'm
I'll
leaving.
also leave that bit out.
Well, that's your choice, Macaulay. I'm not burying you, but it's up to you if you want to be honest or not. And then leave out the bit where Carrick also got dragged off by the guards at the tin mine, and then we had to,
Okay.
kill.
Roll your deception.
Mm.
She is magic lady, so if you don't roll a crit here, you're oh.
And McCoy, after Beric has recalled his story, what are you going to say?
I will say everything truthfully, apart from the fact that I got a bit of a spat with the unrich cunt twice.
Oh, so you're gonna
So
mention about
you're
getting
not
captured?
you're not going to talk about trying to burn down his house and
No, that
the bit
didn't
at the
happen,
whipping.
Andrew. I was drunk. I didn't even know I did that.
So you're not
I
talking about the whipping part where you almost got caught.
whipping part almost got caught by.
Where you kicked the guy in the balls, then kicked him in the side of the head and had to run into the woods.
Potato. He's got done. I'll just say he's a cunt. Stick up his ass, like.
Okay. And then are you telling her about when you got caught in the tin mine and dragged down the road?
I
Almost
will
killed?
mention that because it's witness removal,
Okay.
and the debt was paid. I saved all those people's lives.
Well,
Just
I
mention that.
suppose technically that's everything then. That's
Debt
the
was
truth.
paid. Apart from
Yeah, so really the only thing you're not gonna mention is that you were
Burning
drunk
down
and
the
tried to
house
burn
and the
down his
whipping.
house.
burning down the house and the
Okay,
whipping.
you will need to make your deception for not telling her about the whipping.
Here we go.
And the house burning.
Oh, slightly better.
So, as you're both recalling your story as accurately as you can for telling her pretty much like maybe 3, almost 4 weeks, actually over 4 weeks probably, of what has been happening.
We should have wrote a book, and then she would have got lost in all the misty-eyed.
So, like, along the way, you're trying to recall as best you can everything that happened, and you see that she's kind of sitting there with one of her eyebrows raised slightly, head to the side a bit, so just looking pretty relaxed, sitting in her chair, listening to both the stories. And glances back and forth between the two of you. I see that there are a few inconsistencies between your tales and a few things you've neglected to tell me. Though, I can forgive your poor recollection of what happened over these past few
It's
weeks.
been a long road.
It seems as though you've been through a lot and lost some dear close friends, some that I knew well personally myself along the way.
Rip Talia, definitely
However-
the mercy killer.
However, I do know that you have other companions that are camped not far outside the hideout.
Of course you do.
A bit too close for comfort.
How are we gonna play this?
I know it's against the rules of the what do you call this? A league?
Guild.
Guilds? League?
Just call it a guild.
You can call it whatever
the
you want.
guild, but they want to assist us in killing the dragon.
She kind of sits forward a little bit. Ah, yes, the dragon. We had heard rumors of dragons. First of all, from the lumberyard, where a man was supposedly being whipped for spotting a dragon, but was saved just in time by some unknown elf who disappeared off into the woods.
It's an elf. It wasn't a half elf. You dumb bitch. I didn't say that.
She just gives you a stone cold glare.
She can read your mind. She can read your mind, Carrick.
And then,
I'm part of the banter.
She knows your thoughts.
And then she's also saying, and we had also received word of a brave group of adventurers who had saved the mine only for a dragon to suddenly appear. We did not know if this was completely true, as our witnesses were a bit off, as you would expect after seeing a dragon. The descriptions provided were quite similar to a few members of your party, though the new additions were unexpected. And she kind of
Yeah,
glances around the carriage and gives him a stone cold glare.
you burned that coon's house down, didn't you? That's what she's gonna tell
It
you.
would be advisable to try and contain your drunken outbursts. They may get you caught one day or another.
God.
How does she know about that? That happened a day ago.
This
Not
woman,
even.
it happened like the
She's
night
like-
before.
She's the little finger of this universe. God
So-
damn.
Okay, this woman runs the criminal organization of this part of the world you're in, like Medford, all
How
the
does
little
word
hamlets.
travel from a town to in there in less than 12 hours.
Well, you've got to think, you burned down the house, slept to the
Ravens.
night, then traveled there, stayed the night there.
Okay, maybe a bit longer. But
Yeah,
still, we
you
got
managed-
there. I
managed
I
to
got
get-
there the next day, so
Could be a raven post or something.
could
Yeah.
be a
Like,
Raven Post. That's the only
I've
way
got a
that
feeling-
that's
The friggin' dude that you like didn't kill that tried to mug your ass, he might have been like a part of the criminal thing.
Oh, really? That scrub who?
You've got a feeling the roots run deep,
Mm.
but she won't say more. And then she,
Assuming,
and then, yeah.
did Umbar give a recollection of, or is he not awake yet?
He's awake in the next bed over, just sitting watching this with eyes wide, like, what the fuck is going on? She has not addressed him yet. But after giving Carrick the stone cold glare, her gaze shifts to Beric. She leans in a bit. I also hear you have quite a temper.
Oh.
And have stormed into
Flip, she's
quite a few
good.
buildings in the last few days.
How many did he storm into? Was it just one?
Well, there's the one like 1 or 2 nights ago,
Yes. We didn't
but
get
you don't
paid,
know
very
what
upset with
else she's been told. There could be some false information. There could be a lot of true information.
Well, I did. I didn't leave that part out in my story, so
Yes. But she's giving
I'm
you a,
just mad we didn't get
a
paid.
stone cold glare. Did you tell her that he had told you you were getting no money as a reward?
yeah.
Okay. He's kind of giving you the glare. So you expect
Not
no
like we-
money for your recent deeds after your encounter with Mr. Hansen?
Well, we did risk our lives for him,
That
and
is-
he.
Quiet, Kirk. That is your decision to make. Lord Selma.
There have been a few blunders and errors during this time period. But we are not the type to fully negate a reward. You will get half the intended amount to put the rest aside as compensation to make up for your not as well thought out actions. And hopefully it'll be a lesson to not
We're
let
not
it
really
happen
going to make a
again.
profit here, are we?
We will accept whatever decision you make, Selma.
She nods and snaps her fingers behind her, and another member comes running out from her room with a small little chest. She opens it, takes out a couple bags of gold, looks at them, takes 3 of those bags and drops the rest into the chest.
Wait, how
Plus,
many was in it? 6?
it's hard to see how many bags there were, but real perception.
Yeet. Was not many.
Definitely more than 3.
Damn it, I've been lied to. Oh well.
Well, she took out loads, took 3 of them, and put more away. So you know there's more than 3, like in
A
total,
lot more than 3.
but that's all you know. You didn't really get a good look. She's very good at sleight of hand. But she takes one of the coin purses, tosses it to Beric, tosses one to Carrick, then looks over, tosses a third to Umar, who just doesn't catch it. It just hits him. He's like, oh. Like, oh shit, I didn't think I was getting money. And she says over to him, welcome to the frontiersman, Umar. I'm sorry about the unfortunate fate of your companions. And then she stands up, goes to walk away, and turns it over her shoulder and addresses you all again. There is a meeting of sorts that will be happening later today. Make sure you attend. And then walks off.
Lord Selma,
Yay.
She-
talk to you a moment.
She stops, sighs, like, is it urgent?
Bag it.
No, but I do wish to ask, what of the 2 companions that are out in the woods?
Leave them be. They may have a use later. And then continues to walk off. And enters back into her room through the door and closes it behind her.
Turn around, throw my bag of money up in the air, catch it in my hand. Well, that could have went worse.
Suppose you're right.
I don't know about you, but I could use some breakfast.
Eat some goddamn bacon.
So, weighing up the coin purse you got tossed, you would guess it's maybe about 50 gold's worth.
Alright.
That is quality.
I've added all the money in for you.
Wow, nice. Even better. Okay. Is there anyone else, like, still sleeping in the beds?
There's like 2 or 3 people.
Is any of them Nathan or Damien?
Not that you can see. Neither of them seem to be sleeping in the beds at the minute.
Which one's the coon you buy shit from?
Damien.
Can't remember.
It is Damien.
Right, well, let's go get some breakfast. So,
Yep.
So you head out to like the cooking area pretty much.
yep.
So it doesn't really, it's not that hard to get food. Someone's just at the kitchen cooking some stew over a pot. Just takes a scoop out, throws it in a couple bowls, and hands it to each of you. There are a few more people at the tables already eating, but there's only like 3.
I asked, while I'm getting my food from the cook, I will inquire about Dennis and
Damien.
Nathan. Or Damien. Damien, yeah. Damien and Nathan.
So as the cook stirring the pot and just puts your slop into a bowl, and like, Nathan and Damien. Last I heard, they were out in Medford. They should be back later today for those air quotes, meeting that Selma has organized. No one really knows what it is, but it must be something big. She's calling in all the important people. and then goes back to stirring his pot and putting some more food in the bowls to hand out to the other people.
Hello, can I take her order, pray?
What?
We should wait about for the meeting. I'm sure Rin and Ebon will stay at the camp.
Meanwhile, they're getting murdered by bears. Totally.
It's like Rin's turned it into a bear and Ebon's
This is fighting
trying to
Ebon.
kill her.
Yes, indeed. Okay, so is there anything you would like to do until this meeting begins?
Anyone up for some dice?
A few of them look around and they're not today. We know how the people here play. There'll never be a fair game. We all like winning, and I'd rather cheat the townsfolk than cheat someone here.
Interesting. I suppose we're just gonna loiter then.
I just sort of chill about, take a well-deserved rest.
A breather.
Yep.
Okay, so waiting about for maybe a few hours. It's hard to really tell when you're inside a cave how long has passed, but you do hear the door of the entrance opening, and in steps both Nathan and Damien, as well as a few other very rough-looking members. And they're like
Wait,
walk
quick.
up
we-
to the-
They're quickly like walking along the edge in the direction of like the sleeping quarters.
Are we the best
I,
dressed here?
walk up to Nathan.
Currently, other than like Selma, Nathan, and Damien, you're probably the two best dressed.
Nice.
So you're walking up to the pair of them as they're walking through
Yeah.
the room. Both of them seem to be walking with purpose, and they haven't really paid attention to anyone that's in the room, so they haven't spotted you as you get up to head their way just yet.
I maybe I just sort of stop, and realizing that they're probably going to see Selma, so I just go and sit back down and wait.
Okay. So afterwards they go up through the little passageway and a few minutes pass and then you hear a shout from in the sleeping area saying, "Come! Gather all! The meeting will be commencing soon." And everyone is like, "Ah!" setting down their food bowls and
We must kill the dragon!
getting up and heading that direction.
Okay, get up and head for the meeting, I suppose.
Okay. So as you file in, there's quite a few people in the room. At the front, like up, where's my mouse? Like up in this area, like just in front of the door of where Selma's room is, a box has been dragged out, and she's currently standing up on top of the box, with Nathan and Damien both sitting in a chair to the side with a third empty chair for her. At this point, there's maybe about 15 or so people that have gathered. A few like more were like arriving before Damien and Nathan, but there's about 15 or so people now in the area.
Okay.
So now that everyone's came in and there's a bit of chatter, but someone just holds her hand up, and immediately everyone just stops talking. She looks out over the crowd, kind of gauges a bit, and then goes, "So as many of you have probably heard, there are rumors of dragons." Murmurs wave across the crowd. You can hear a couple people next to you going, "Dragons! I heard there were dragons." Someone said there's a black dragon near the lumber mine. No, 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 no. I heard it was a white dragon near the tin mine. And people are kind of murmuring a bit. She holds her hand up again. Settle down, settle down. I can confirm that these are not rumors. There is in fact a dragon, a white dragon, to the north. Though it seems, from what I have gathered, that it is quite a small dragon. Though threats have been made against our livelihood, Medford. So, we will have to act. People seem to be getting quite worried as she pauses. Everyone's kind of going, oh fuck. Oh god, what are we gonna do? And then, standing there, she straightens up a bit more. But we are not doing what you think we might be doing. We are not going to blindly march out to try and kill a dragon. Our livelihood is the town of Medford. Medford is our home. It is where we earn our money, where we thrive. So we must do our best to prepare and protect Medford from this flying lizard. However, a dragon's hoard is the staff of legend, and stealing from it is even legendary more. So, I have spoke with Nathan and Damien, and they both agree that the entire guild will be rallied, and we shall split into 3 groups. The first group will stay with Damien here, and they shall protect what we currently have in wealth and our hideout. The second group will travel to Medford, try and help the locals to prepare the defenses, and if it comes to it, attempt to fight off the beast. And the third group will travel forth into the northern mountains, and while this dragon is distracted, try and find its lair and take from it what they can, and escape with their lives. This is a dangerous task. We will not assign roles to anyone. You must choose where your own life will be put. Those who do not wish to fight may stay here, and there is no shame in that. But those who want to fight for their people, who want to fight for Medford, then go to Medford. The others, you will travel north, split into separate parties, and you will find this dragon's lair, and we will take from it everything that is in it. Now, discuss amongst yourselves. The meeting is adjourned and will commence 15 minutes from now. Steps down and goes and sits in her chair next to Damien and Nathan. Everybody else in this area with you is all like stunned silence, like, oh shit. Shit is going down.
So it's literally that face of the dragon. That's literally what everyone's doing that I've put in Discord. That's their
Kind of.
faces.
So what are you two doing?
I gather sort of Carrick and Umbar in a huddle, and what does everyone think we should do?
I'll be honest. How many days we got left before that cunt of a dragon demanded tribute?
How many days do you think you've got?
4.
I don't think that really matters now, Carrick.
So
Well-
you would know that today is the 6th day since it made the threat.
Right, so we got a day to find it. That's not looking.
It's a stupid dragon. I don't think it keeps a calendar in its lair.
Right. I don't really want to go back to Madford. No harm.
I think we should go for the lair.
I second this decision.
Umar looks between you both, nods his head. It'll be the stuff of legends to raid a dragon's lair. I agree with this vote.
If we make it out alive, and the dragon doesn't come back and eat us.
We'll be fine.
You can deal with the cold, alright, Umar, can't you?
He kind of tugs at his backpack where you can see a similar looking heavy winter clothes like yours is in his bag.
Ah, good. Someone came prepared.
You can also see that there is now also rope tied to the side of his bag as well. Just normal rope though, not silk.
I have
And-
a
and
fancy
his-
rope.
And his armor is no longer battered and ruined. It's all been fixed. The chains put back together. It's got a new shine to it. And you also taking a closer look at his side, you see that his scimitar that he did have was it's a very short weapon, similar to a short sword, but he seems to have now like a longer bladed like saber or scimitar that he must have got in Medford. So he has indeed upgraded his gear.
Nice. Well, at least I've made our decision. We'll just then wait for the meeting to restart again then.
So there's a lot of murmuring. Different people are splitting into like different little groups as they talk. And then Selma engaging conversation with Damien and Nathan steps back up on the box and holds her hand up as everyone hushes back down to silence. We have discussed our plans and actions that will be carried out. We must move with haste. Nathan will be organizing and traveling with the groups heading to the north in search of the Dragon's Lair. I myself will be traveling to Medford to try and bolster the defenses and prepare the people for this impending attack if it happens. Everyone will be splitting into groups. Not everyone is here, but those of you going to Medford, you will leave now. You will get there as fast as possible, and you will inform the others of what is happening, and they will make their choice of meeting here to leave at nightfall, or to stay in Medford and help me in bolstering the defenses. And she looks down at Nathan. Nathan? The two of them exchange places. He stands up. Okay, so those of us heading north, we're going to split into small search parties. A large group will be easily spotted and found, so we're going to split up into smaller groups and hopefully pass by any defenses, any allies, any beasts in the north and west as we search for this dragon's lair. Anyone that comes amongst yourselves, make small parties, anywhere from 3 to 6. Keep it small, get the supplies you need, and at nightfall, we leave. If the rumors are to be believed, we had a week. It has been 6 days. If this dragon is true in its word, Medford will be under attack soon, and plans will be put in action. We must find this lair, loot what we can, and leave before that beast returns. He looks out over the crowd. It has been an honor to serve with all of you. Some of us may not return to this hideout, but we will try. And then steps down again. He's a bit shaky in his voice at the end of his little speech, but he's determined. Selma then steps up again, claps her hands. Now, make preparations. Quickly head to Medford. Warn the others, the rest of you. Either get prepared here, or get your supplies ready and prepare to head north. Things must be done swiftly. And then steps out again and dismisses the meeting, and you see a decent portion of the room just start running down the tunnels, trying to get to the way out to go for Medford.
Right.
So what are you going to do now?
Do you really want to wait till nightfall, to be honest? What is it? What time is it? Is it midday or?
It's pretty close to midday.
I'd like to get a bit of stuff and get moving now, not gonna lie.
Right, so
Who-
wait
who's-
till nightfall.
Do we have to, though?
You can always ask.
Us three will approach Nathan.
Okay. You can see he's taking the box and bringing it back to the storage room, pushing it along the ground.
I'll help him lift it.
Okay, so yeah, he looks away. Ah, Beric, it's good to see you again. Selma told me that you'd all returned. We were all, well, I was worried that none of you were going to come back alive. It's been a long time. You look well, though. Got some new scars, I see.
Yes, it's been a strange couple of weeks. But I'm a lot more experienced than when you last seen me.
He nods. Good to hear. At this point, you would have got the box into the door of the storage room and put it back to the side. So have you made up your mind, or?
We will travel north with you.
He nods. You can see a kind of dark look across his face. I see. Always wear one for action.
We would wish to ask, actually, that we would be the advanced vanguard and push forward to the north early and leave now, before waiting for darkness.
Have you organized a party? You're ready?
We have a party. We have two members of our party that we have met along our journeys.
The
They
two outside. Yes.
Yes. They also wish to help against the beast. I fear that even if the defense of Medford goes well, we still may have to face the dragon if it returns to the lair.
He's nodding slowly, like, indeed we must.
So the way I see it is we could use all the help we can get.
If you're ready to leave, leave now and quickly. You'll get a head start. Perhaps you can find the lair and wait for the beast to leave before sneaking inside.
This is the guy we buy shit off, isn't it?
No,
No.
this is the
No.
guy that's essentially Beric's father.
Ah,
Well, father figure.
Kark, Omar, go back to the camp and prepare the other two for the travel. I shall catch up presently.
Umar gives you a nod and starts making his way towards the exit, looking a little bit overwhelmed at everything that's happened on his first arrival.
am I gonna get penalized here? It's not winter yet, but I don't have any winter clothing. Am I gonna get
You're
penalized?
going
yet?
further north and it is getting colder.
You could,
Need to pick up a coat, like.
Karek, I would advise talking to Damien before you leave. Try to get some winter clothes that he might have packed away somewhere.
And Nathan looks around. He's like, no. He just, I'll get you something. I don't know where that fat ass is, but he goes off to the side, opens up a couple crates, rummaging
Ow!
around.
Just elbowed my desk.
So you're going to help him, and then you kind of like whack your arm off a crate, hit the funny bone. It's real bad. But after opening a couple crates, he does pull out some fur clothes for winter travel, similar to what Beric has. It's like,
Excellent.
he'll still need to pay up their cost, or he'll have my ass.
How much?
Uh, yeah. Probably about 10 gold or so.
Just thought that's a bit steep, but.
You can
So
see
be it.
these are like furs from skinned animals to
Okay, well then, fair
keep
enough.
you warm. They're quite
Can't
good
put-
clothes.
Can't put a price on warmth.
Indeed. After the ordeal that I've heard you've had, I think you would.
Yeah, I
Quite
kind of wish I bought these like 3 weeks ago. But matters not.
Yes, the sooner the winter ends, the better. The way I see it.
We have to survive to winter first.
It's coming.
I've seen enough of the cold, and it hasn't even begun yet.
Indeed. It's been a cold start to autumn this year. I fear for what will happen when the sun goes behind and darkness falls.
Yes. With this dragon and the attack on the tin mine and the creatures at the lumberyard, Medford's position is rather weakened. And who knows what happens when everything goes dark and the creatures of the night move in.
You can see a kind of shudder down his spine, seeming to remember some bad memories some years long past. He shakes it off. Your party will be off then, before dark.
Yes.
Let's bounce.
I wish to ask you something first before I leave. Do you have any knowledge of the arcanic arts?
A bit here and there. I've never really dabbled myself.
Is there anyone here that would be more experienced in the matter?
He glances in the direction of Selma's room and looks back
Oh
at you.
no!
Other than, you know who? No.
He said "Don bitch." Hey, that's all I heard him say.
I don't think I want to fight 2 dragons in 1 week.
That's good. That is good. He enjoys this greatly.
I pull out. I will show them to you nonetheless. And I pull out the long sword and
Okay.
the spark bombs. Seen anything like these before?
So first he takes one of the spark bombs, holds it up, spins it around. From the mine, I assume. Quite hard to get these. If I remember right, you need a trigger word. I don't quite remember what it is, but there's some arcane trigger word you speak and it lights the fuse before throwing it. And then you see him kind of sitting there for a moment, stroking his chin. And then his eyes brighten up. He's like, I don't actually know what the trigger word would be, but he conveys to you what the activation word for the spark bombs is. So you speak it, and then you pretty much have like a normal grenade. 5 seconds to chuck it, and then it will blow up.
I already know the word.
What is the word?
Granada!
Flashbang!
Oh, you could always make that the word you yell as you scream it out, and we'll say that it's the magic word.
I'm getting flashbacks now to MW2. Eligi Samara Granada!
He hands back the spark bomb to you, and then takes the blade in his hands, and runs his fingers along it.
Cuts his finger.
He's looking at it
The
closely.
blade is still sharp.
It's a fine weapon. Where did you find such a blade?
In a cave on top of the mountain.
Unfortunate end for a blade like this, but an end no more. If I remember correctly, he's like thumbing over some markings on the crossguard that you've never really been able to read what they say. They're in some language you don't understand. But he's thumbing over them. I don't speak the language these are written in, but they look similar. It's definitely a magical blade, but I'm not quite sure what it would be. Definitely something elemental, but I'm not sure how to activate it or use such a weapon.
Well, I thank you for your help, Nathan, nonetheless.
He nods. At this point, you're kind of walking your way towards the exit. He gives you back your sword.
Safe travels, Nathan. I shall see you in the north.
Hopefully we don't have to meet at all. You'll be there and back before anything happens.
Yes. Just try not to get eaten by a dragon, old man.
No dragon will be having me for lunch. I can assure you that.
Good. Goodbye.
Goodbye. As you turn to start walking out, he puts his hand on your shoulder to stop you. And as you turn, you see worry in his eyes, and he just mutters, "Be safe, my boy," and then walks off,
Ew.
closing the door to the entrance.
As soon as the cave door closes.
At this point, you would have both made your way outside to the entrance of the cave. So how do you want to proceed with your quest that you're now on?
We shall.
We left the other two.
We'll first go over to the camp, see if the two of them are still here.
So, heading over to the camp, it takes you a little bit to get there, but whenever you arrive, looking over the camp, you see that there is only one hulking mass at the camp. The giant half-orc body of Ebom is currently still asleep, lying just lying by the fire, and there's no one else there.
I walk over and kick the bottom of his foot. Hey, Bob.
Time to go.
He snores his way through your kick, not even realizing what's happening in the real world. Having a pleasant dream about drinking and bar fighting.
Kick him again.
Just gonna kick him until he wakes up.
Yeah.
So, eventually,
Just kicking the fuck out of him.
he is a giant, muscled, but still fat half-orc wakes up and I would say that as a reaction to seemingly being attacked upon waking, you have a fist flying towards your face as he swings up in defense of himself.
Oh fuck!
I'll use this character sheet to roll, because, yes.
It's going full authentic.
Dodge that shit.
Nope.
Oh dear.
You get punched right in the face.
Ah!
And... D2. And you take 5 damage.
Jesus.
As you just get smacked in the jaw by this huge, meaty fist. Clearly
Just lying
angering.
lying on my ass, just like, Carrick. Next
Yeah.
time you wake him.
Okay.
So, what you want to do now? But,
Staggered my
oh.
fate.
As you're getting up, Ebom's like, "Sorry, Scarface." I said it's not your new name from Ebom, saying that you have scars on your face, and that is how he's identifying you.
No problem. You know, it's not like my face looked bad enough.
This is quite amusing to the Goliath of a man. But
Where's Rin, Abom?
what did Samuel call? Samuel! What did you call the elf druid? I can't remember what you told me.
Pointy ears.
I don't know if you were pointy ears or not. It's the thing. Is he here? Is he gone? I think
No,
he's dead.
Gone. He's gone.
We'll just call her pointy ears for that. Pointy ears? Just looks around. I don't know. Pointy ears is right over there. And points at Carrick.
No. Female pointy ears.
Right there! Points at Carrick again.
Clearly, he does not know.
Yeah.
I sense a face palm right there.
Yeah. The other, the one person that's not here.
He's just scratching his head, looking around. I don't know.
Oh?
I don't know.
The person that you've camped with. You know, for the last day.
Dream lady? I don't know. You woke me up. She's gone.
Maybe she got tired of waiting or something, or she's off doing druid things. Or
You don't
Fuck
really
mine
know
up.
she's a druid.
we don't have.
Elf
Fair enough.
things. I don't think she told you really anything about what she could do.
Oh shit.
So all you know is she's a strange elf. So she's doing elf
Elf
things.
Elf things. Kark, you're an elf. What weird things do you do in the forest?
My specialty is mountains. I don't know.
Why do I talk to you?
Okay. So the majority of the party has been reunited.
Mom, we going to go and steal from Big Lizzie.
Still big lizard gold?
Yes.
Hmm. I like big lizard gold.
Yes. Yes. So, we must travel north. At a good speed. So, how do you do in the cold?
Just slaps his fat.
How fat
You know
is
what?
he?
Well, he's
couldn't
300
remember.
pounds and 7 foot 4.
He's got enough blubber there to do and then.
Pretty much.
The man's a land walrus.
Yeah.
Probably 2 land walruses. Right. So we'll travel off north. We shall.
So let's zoom into the map here.
I shall
Plot a
use the
route.
I'm gonna have to zoom in myself.
arrow. So we shall move through the trees to start with
Okay.
to enter this tree line, and then we shall then advance. Not that you can really tell, but yeah, we'll just travel. We'll do 2 days travel to the edge of that tree line to begin with.
So you want to go like that way?
Yeah.
Okay. So let me see. So on a road, you'd be able to get 25 miles a day. Without a road, you are slowed down to more like 18, 20 miles a day, trying to travel straight through the wilderness with no path. So it would take you like two and a
3
half
days.
days, 3 days. So, now, like this is like full woods going all the way up. There's just a
Yeah.
portion of hills like there that the trees then are on top of. So you just want to go like 3 days up this way?
Yep.
Okay. So the keeping the mountain to your right as you can see it over the top of the trees now becoming bright with different autumn colors. You start to make your way through the forests, going up and down hills, over ditches. It's quite a journey. So the group will need to make survival checks that'll all be combined together to see how effectively you can find your way through the forest and keep on a safe path. Okay, so 13, not too bad. Eva. Oh, Eva, do good. So somehow, as the group is going along, the giant, the hulking, partially, probably brain dead, half orc seems to be the one that's really leading the way and picking the path. You don't really know the background or the history of this half orc, but it seems as though at this moment in time, he has a good head on him for direction. Keeps the party traveling straight and true for a decent portion of time. So, as you travel, is there anything specific you'd like to do before or during the first night?
No, not particularly. Just sort of rotate watches and stuff accordingly.
Okay. So everyone will need to make a perception just to see in case they spot anything during their nightly watch. The order you do it doesn't really matter. We'll just make up whoever spots it when if we spot anything.
Oh my goodness.
Okay.
Well, that's interesting.
Okay, so during the night, I'll say when Kark is awaking for his watch, Umar, who was on watch before you, kind of leans in close. Watch the trees. I feel like I've been seeing something during the night, but never got a good, clear look at it to see what it was. Just keep your wits about you. And then continues the exchange of watch. While you're up for the watch, there's definitely movement and sound around the camp during the night. You get a glimpse or two of a shape moving through the darkness here, another shape there. One of the ships does move into a more clear patch of light, and you see it's a four-legged figure with,
Goddamn wolf.
with glowing eyes that seem to be piercing into you through the darkness, but they do not approach any closer.
Unusual. Hmm.
It's hard to really tell how many there are. Anything you
We'll
want to do?
nothing.
Okay.
Not really. I don't want to piss it off. If it's a wolf, bring it on. If it's not, go fuck yourself.
All you can really see in the darkness is that it's four-legged and its eyes are glowing at you from the small fire of your camp. But it's far enough out of your sight that anybody else couldn't see it. You can only just barely see it in the light. It's hard to tell what it is. Do you want to finish the night's rest and move on to day 2?
Aye.
Okay, so for the next day of travel, I'm still stuck at a pretty normal pace. We'll just use the previous survival roll to make it a bit quicker. But travel is going pretty well so far. I haven't run into any major snags or problems yet. And you're slowly making your way down through your food, having just ate and drank one set of rations during the night. But is there anything you'd like to do during the day or during the night at all on your travel?
Nah.
No, not really.
Okay, night 2. Roll some perception.
Oh.
Well, that's better.
16.
It's worse.
Okay, so this time, as the watch is changing over from A-Bomb to Barrick, A-Bomb, before going to sleep, is like, I saw some fluffies in the woods. I wanted to pet them, but they ran away. And then passes out instantly. Must have been
What a great
drinking
companion.
as he was on his watch, but there's some fluffies.
Is
You would know that
Umar with us?
he is. He's the one that told you about
Oh.
what he saw during the night.
Oh, okay.
His rules you cannot see because he's not an actual party member.
Oh,
Like a
right,
player. He's a full-on AI.
oh, that explains that then.
But you would know that the night before they did see some strange four-legged creatures. Now you know that they're furry, strange four-legged creatures that seem to be stalking you during the night.
Oh, how
So what do you want to do?
Bring it on.
I'll just keep watch and just, you know.
Okay. Ready to move on to the next day then?
Yep.
Okay. So as the next day comes around, we will roll another survival for this day. Since
Is it getting colder now?
it's slowly getting colder as you're progressively making your way north. The clouds in the sky are starting to gather and become thick and dark. So the weather seems to be about to change soon.
Okay.
Oh. Okay, that was Barrick I rolled. And Carrick, not these other two
What?
idiots. I rolled your rolls instead of A-Bomb and Umar. Okay, they didn't really roll any different. So, as you're traveling along the trees, they're starting to get a lot thicker as you're making your way this direction. It's getting harder to
Get a
determine your
straight path.
direction. Yeah, they're getting denser, the undergrowth's getting thicker. Every day you can see the trees slowly have less and less leaves, and the ground beneath becomes more and more cluttered. It does start to rain at the start of the third day. making travel a bit harder as the ground starts getting muddied. And the rain seems to be like on the edge of like sleet and snow. It's getting pretty
Nice.
close as you're getting up. You would probably need to put your winter clothes on at this
Yeah, I
point.
was gonna say.
Any further up north, and the cold will start biting in.
Yeah, okay.
Just need to make sure that I am taking away people's food and water. So, for day 3, is there anything that you'd like to really do during the day or during the night?
No, not particularly. We're all good in the hood.
Okay. So, roll your perception for night 3.
Uh, Oh, that's good.
Uh,
Okay. So, during the night, um, during Ebom's watch, there was nothing. During Barrack's watch, there was nothing. But during Carrick's watch, you've got the like you feel like you're seeing something in the corner of your eye now and again as you are sitting there in the darkness with your campfire going. But it's hard to really see what it is. Oh, you do have the feeling that you're being watched. Whatever
still
these
these figures.
whatever these creatures are, they seem to still be stalking you. So what would you like to do?
Have I got like a vague idea of the direction they're in? Are they all around me or?
You just hear like the snap of twigs and branches off one way, then off the other way. It's quite hard to really tell the direction they're in. There's definitely more than one.
What are you gonna do? Wait for us all to go to sleep and slit our own throats, or
Oh, what do you want to do?
walk to the edge of the camp and just and we look around,
Okay, so
but
you're
not leave like the light or the fire, and not go too far from the other two or three.
so you want to like stay within the faint light of the fire.
Yes, just go towards the edge of it a bit.
Okay.
And just have a wee peer about and chat shit about them.
Roll perception.
Here we go. And we've a board of being stock, like. Oh, 19. Nice.
Okay, so as you're stalking about, looking out into the woods to see what you can see, you do hear the snap of branch and rustle of a bush not far in front of you.
Hmm. I obviously can't see it though.
Not yet.
I'm gonna stay where I am. But
Stay
draw
where
my
you are.
bow.
Okay, so you're getting your bow out. Your armor's already on since you were the one on watch. But make one more perception check.
Okay, here we go. Terrible.
Hmm. So as you're stepping out to the edge of the light and you hear the rustling in front of you, you suddenly hear a rustle to your side and a pair of intense, glowing eyes peering at you from the undergrowth. It's not far from you, maybe like 30 feet or so. You can just see these glowing eyes piercing through the darkness. And for you, it would be like it would be like dimly lit, but like all like black and
Still see
white.
it.
So you can see, but it'll be like seeing with really shitty black and white night vision goggles. And you just see these two piercing, glowing eyes.
Really want to shoot an arrow at it.
And that's what you want to do. Go for it.
I will attempt to fire a warning shot with a shit arrow
Okay,
that I think I still have.
you do.
Uh, aim right for its feet. Why not? Shit
Roll
arrow. Away we
attack.
go. Oh, good God.
Okay, so as you like pull your bow and get ready to draw and shoot, you're like, you know what? Do you want to actually miss it with a warning shot, or do you want to hit it?
You see, now that I've rolled a crit, I kind of want to hit it.
It's up to you.
This thing's been stalking us for like 3 days. I will hit it. I'm bored
So-
of it.
You fire a
First of all-
shot towards the eyes, and as your fingers slip off the arrow and you release it, you see whatever it is lunge from the bush. And
Lovely.
we're on another
We're in
map.
combat against the wolves.
So as you've launched an arrow, you see your arrow hit true at whatever it is, and this
Oh, fuck
Cougar.
my
is a giant looking lion, large fangs coming down from the front of its mouth.
Like, why hunt
Roll-
us for 3
Roll your
days?
damage. Roll your
You're a
damage.
cunt. You're a cunt.
It's air bomb.
Oh,
It's not the blubber.
Air-bomb is the one to the right of the fire. Umar's the one above
Oh.
the fire. I changed his model to actually one with a shield.
Oh, I know, but I'm just saying, like, it's probably air bomb. It's why we're really
Ah.
hunting. It's all the flubber. You can
So
eat that corpse.
as
for,
you
like,
shoot out, you see
4
your
days.
arrow pierce true into the shoulder of whatever this creature is. And as it lunged towards you, a claw streaks down towards you in your direction.
Oh, it actually gets an attack on me.
Oh yeah, it was waiting for you to attack it, so as you shot, it was diving at you at the exact same time.
Why did it? I don't understand animal logic, but okay.
Slashes you across the chest with its claws, digging in deep, sliding across like the bottom of your chest piece where your stomach are, sliding off and catching into your thigh, ripping across it through your clothes, dealing you 9 points of damage.
Oh my
And
God!
as you took that hit and staggered back,
Ah!
you glance to your side and you see another one, the initial noise that you heard creeping forward up beside a tree. Now, these are the kind of beasts, like, you have never encountered them before, but they're probably like, their backs are like 5 or 6 feet up. They're about the same height as you. Heads that could
Lovely.
crush your skull in a single bite. Their large 6-inch fangs hanging down from their upper jaw.
So mountain lions have come to kill us.
No, they're saber-toothed tigers, but
Yeah, I was gonna say.
roll initiative.
Lethal. Do I not
wow.
get to scream or anything as I get?
Oh, you
What?
would have screamed, but we're rolling initiative to see what order everybody's going in. Now that the surprise round is over. So everyone needs to do it, even the sleeping people.
What is it?
Goddamn pussy ass. bitch.
Initiative.
Initiative.
Okay.
I just got these clothes. I'm gonna have to buy more. I'm a bitch.
So, first we have Carrick, then Beric, then Ebon, then Umar, and then our lovely Sabertooths who rolled really bad.
Yeah.
So, Carrick's going first. You've just been slashed. The others are still currently asleep, barely
Uh-huh.
waking their eyes open as this attack commences. So what are you going to do?
Ooh.
now that you have this large hulking beast beside you?
Now it's beside me. Oh wait, I'm
Yes.
a rogue. I can disengage, but that's probably not gonna help
If you
with this
disengage, it
situation.
can't attack you, and you can move.
Wait, what?
Like you can disengage, it won't
But
get
then
to
not
attack you, and then you can attack it because you're a rogue. Like you can
can
disengage and then
disengage.
shoot it.
Oh, see, that's tempting because I. Uh, I'll. How far would I be allowed to disengage? So I get this right.
You
and
You
I
can
remember.
move 30 feet.
And still do an action.
I'm gonna back up 25 and shoot.
Okay, so you slowly back your way up from it. Get your bow ready. Fire another shot.
Where's the character sheet? This is a proper arrow, by the way, Andrew.
Yep. Roll your damage. Okay.
A shitty 4. Goddamn.
So you shoot in. You see your arrow like skim across the top of its like
Wait a minute.
hulking shoulders. Yeah.
Was that a 1? Did I roll a 1 and get 4? You.
Yeah, you've
fucker.
got a +3. So you see your arrow like
One.
skim across the top of the fur of its
What an
shoulders,
idiot.
sending little like hairs everywhere, and it snarls at you, getting low down to the ground, ready to pounce. It is now Beric.
I know what I'm doing next turn.
So what will?
Yes, Jacob, yes.
Yes, you couldn't do it this turn because you had to disengage.
Right, I'm gonna obviously sort of awaken to look and be like, oh shit! And I'm gonna like stumble to my feet and use this turn to get my equipment on.
The turn is 6 seconds, so something you can grab in 6 seconds.
Jesus, very
Ah
quick
shit,
time to put
just
on
grab
armor
my
on.
2 swords then.
Okay, because getting your armor on for light armor, it's like 1 minute, which is like a full 10 turns.
Oh my goodness, yeah, no
Oh
chance.
fuck. That's like medium armor.
Medium, I think, is 10. Because it's not as
10?
malleable, it's harder to get on.
20 turns, like holy shit.
Well,
You
10
dead?
minutes, that's like 60 turns.
Could you how long
Combat-
will I just have 3 more straps today?
Combat is very quick. Like, a combat could take us hours, that could be like 3
Aye.
minutes, even less, in actual
Yeah.
time. But,
Right, and then I'll move. Actually,
you'd be able to move 15 feet, spending half your movement to get up and stumble about.
I'll just advance a wee bit, just to make a battle line here.
Okay, so you stumble up, draw your new
To arms,
blades
men!
that you've
To
never
arms!
used before, and stumble. Like, these are your blades, you've never used these before. The most likely magical and the normal one, and you're stumbling forward like, the fuck, is this a dream? What's going on? After you, A-bomb kind of slowly blinks awake, looks over like, fluffy kitties! And
Oh no.
grabs his giant maul from the ground and steps up behind Carrick. Umar kind of rolls over in his sleep. Looks over. Oh, fuck! Grabs his shield, since he's not a dual wielder, he can only pick up 1 item a turn. Grabs his shield and gets ready with the shield to defend himself. It is now their turn. And you see as they slowly start stalking closer, one slinking its way off to the side into the darkness. And you all need to attempt to roll perception, as it is now trying to hide.
Yeet. Nope.
Oh, was 16.
Where
Oh,
did you go, you little fuck?
let me just see if either the other two
You
will spot this,
rolled
but
a
I do
crit,
not think
son
they
of a
will.
bitch.
Okay, Umar does that. Ebam does not. So you see it slink off to the side, just outside of the firelight, and it disappears and vanishes. You can't see it anymore as it creeps in behind the undergrowth.
Well, shit.
In front of you, however, the one that had previously attacked Kark runs around the tree and dives at him from the side, striking out at you with its claws outstretched. And its claws grab into the sides of your armor, pushing you down
Oh, man.
onto the ground. You need to make a strength saving throw.
It's been nice.
So
It's been fun.
you're then slammed onto the ground as these claws dig into your leather, piercing into your skin beneath. And you take 8 points of damage as the claws then rip out,
Down
still
to
keeping you
11 HP.
still keeping you pinned down onto the ground, not letting you up.
Oh,
Oh,
shit.
sorry, no, it's 12. 12 HP.
It is now your turn though, and you're pinned to the ground.
Pinned to the
Good luck.
ground. Well, obviously, I want to get unpinned and shank a bitch.
You'll
Sorry.
have to forfeit your attack to try and break free of it pinning you down.
Oh, right. What's that?
Or you-
Strength?
That is a strength against its
Could he,
strength.
could he just attack it?
You could attack it, but being on the ground, pinned down by it, it's harder to strike it, so it would be disadvantaged. Since
Strength
it's
for
like
the
kind of
win, boy.
controlling you. Oh, let me see here. So you're trying to wiggle your way and break free, and you see it kind of lift its head and snarl out an A-bomb, giving you the chance you need to wiggle or roll out from underneath its paws,
Right.
just off to the side. You still have your bonus action you can use.
Wait. How am I allowed to
Shotgun.
do that?
You used your main action, which is your attack, to break the grapple. Now you have a bonus action. So that's like an offhand attack, Hunter's Mark, casting some of your spells like your Fog Cloud,
Oh,
I
it's
think
gonna
is
have to be
bonus.
the on Hunter's Mark, unfortunately.
So you point out to it, and you mark it for death. That is now your target.
You heretic.
I'll give it a wee blue dot. There we go. That's easy to see. Do you want to try and move it all?
I'll move back. Well, probably. I'm guessing I can't really go behind it.
Well, you can sneak your way along as long as you're still within fighting distance of it without it attacking you.
We'll try hit him up the ass.
Yeah, so
Okay.
you sneak around behind it, you can see it's kind of looking around between all the different targets, getting ready to strike.
This is where I get pulled off into the depths of hell.
It is now Beric's turn.
I charge at the beast,
Okay.
shouting at Umar to protect the rear or the left hand side. And I shall attack it with both my long swords.
Make your attacks. First one comes in. Do the second one and then we'll do damage. Or we could
Oh,
just do damage.
sorry.
But you hit it, you stab it, you hit it again, you stab it again. So you come in slashing down its neck with one blade, across its shoulder blade with the other, and you can see blood starting to pour down its fur, a deep crimson red, and drip onto the ground as it snarls at you,
I'm
preparing to
also gonna
pounce.
use action surge.
Yes.
Is that a hit?
Yeah. So as you keep hacking into it as much as you can,
Jeez, it's gonna have any limbs left by this stage?
Do I also get to roll a d6 because it's in combat with
1d6 for
Attack.
one of the attacks.
uh,
Oh,
So as you start hacking into it, swinging your blades like a madman, it's hacking into neck, into shoulder, into back. You can see these just deep gashes in its pelt, the blood pouring out. Its head kind of hanging limply, but still ready to fight back. It is not done just yet.
that is rather interesting. Right, that's me.
Oh yes, I forgot. I was reading Action Surge, and it takes a bonus action to use it. So whenever you use it, you would get 3 attacks, not 4. I'd been doing it wrong this whole time.
Ah,
Because you have an action, bonus action. You would use your bonus action, your normal attack, then you get another attack and a bonus action. So you would have a.
okay. So
3.
it's 3.
I
Okay.
would take away the 4 because it's a 4.
So generous.
No, it was the last one you rolled. So, yes. It now looks slightly less hurt as one of the strikes to its pelt evaporates into the air.
Hmm.
You thought you hit it, but you must be daydreaming since you only woke up. A-bomb spins round, maul in hands, and just screams out, "Fluffy kitty!" and goes to try and smack it across the head with his giant maul. Definitely hits. Smacks it straight across the top of the skull, its head almost hitting down into the ground. As it pulls back up. Shaky, you can see its legs visibly shaking as it looks around, fear in its eyes, having underestimated this party that it tried to ambush. Umar then grabs up his sword from the ground and keeps his back to the group, looking out into the darkness, trying to see if he can spot the other one. But while looking out into the dark, seemingly from nowhere, actually roll perception, just to see.
perception. Me, yes, yes, yes.
Yeah,
yes.
all of you.
Oh, all of us.
Yep.
Ah.
And
Awesome.
I will roll a bomb just in case. No. Okay, so as you're hacking away, you suddenly just hear the slight crackle of leaves right behind you, and Umar just go, "No!" as 2 large fangs just clamp around your shoulder. It got a
Alright.
26 on stealth, so that was interesting.
Who is this to?
To you, to Beric.
Oh, no.
As these 2 large fangs, they just grip into your shoulder, piercing in, doing. Let me roll the damage here. Like digging in. Do you actually need to make it non-invisible? There dealing you 12 points of damage on the bite.
Ah,
And now make your strength save against the weight of this beast just pulling you to the ground. Oh, so you feel the tug as it starts trying to pull you onto the ground, but you stay on your feet, but it's still gripping into your shoulder with tight jaws. The other creature, seeing that you're now restrained by its friend, strikes out at you with claws, trying to get you, but slashing across the front of the chest piece, sending sparks flying, but
God, this chest is really saving my ass.
not breaking its way through. Actually, you don't have your chest piece because you just woke up.
Ah, fuck.
Oh, but
Oh, no.
it only like barely hit you. Actually, it wouldn't hit you because you have what dexterity? You have 2 dexterity, and then you've got 1 for the 2 building. So it tries to get you, but you bring your blade up and just kind of nick its paw and get its pawed claws away from you.
Haha,
If you didn't
sucker.
have the dual wielder thing, it would have hit you. It was like 1 away. So you're like looking down at yourself going, oh yeah, I had enough time to gear up for this, and you feel the claws, the teeth
Oh, wait, yes,
dig in
'cause
deep.
I don't I have 1 plus.
If you're holding the 2 weapons, you get a +1.
Yeah.
Which puts you from 16 to 17, or if you're not wearing armor, 12 to
13.
13.
That's pretty decent.
But it is now Carrick's turn.
Right. Let's try kill this Von buddy in front of me.
Yep.
Here we go. I'm just gonna roll.
What are you attacking
me?
with?
Short sword. Why did that not work?
Are you still
again?
downloading?
Oh, no, I'm not downloading. There's nothing.
Okay.
Okay,
So,
you can pay. I
hit.
don't know what the delay was there, but
Roll your damage.
the 16 which
I
doesn't
had
matter.
it.
And then plus
Combo.
2d6, 1 for Hunter's Mark, 1 for Sneak Attack.
Oh, good grief. 2d6. But
You didn't need either of those because it only had 1 health, but I wanted you to roll anyway. So, this is with your short sword.
it was indeed.
So, you sneak up around behind it as it's distracted, getting struck by a barrack over the neck, the sides, the shoulders. And you bring your short sword down, hacking down into the spine. And you just see it its back legs go limp as it loses control of its rear. Its front paws kind of scrabbling on the ground before it
Looks
slumps
like
over,
meat's back on the menu.
life
boys.
fading from its eyes. It is, you do still have your movement and your bonus action though.
Oh, tell you what I'm gonna do right now. We've never used this yoke here yet, but tonight
Okay.
we're gonna break it out in style. So, see how Don Kitty responds to this. Here we go. Oh.
The
23 with a
whip is not a light weapon, so
What? You can't one-hand it?
not in your offhand.
You're joking, man. Oh, I'm raging. How big's the whip?
Well, it's like a good long ass whip. And you're not really the best
Oh,
with your
Lord.
offhand, so you need to main hand it to whip it. So it would be a
I'm
disadvantaged
flippin'
attack in
raging.
case you hit it with a second roll.
I do want to do it again, so friggin' why not? On the whip. Nope, one.
So you try and whip it, but you've never used this like a whip before, and it's in your bad hand. So as you go to whip it, you whip yourself in the back of the head, and then it flies up, catches around a branch in the tree beside you, and gets stuck.
Ah, shit.
So
You
now you
just
know
hang
you
yourself
need
with
to
that
use the
whip.
whip in
May
your
well.
main hand. But do you want to try and move it all?
Nah, not really. Well, I'll wait till next turn.
Okay, it is now Beric.
I'm gonna just try to. This thing's still digging into my shoulder.
Oh
isn't
yeah,
it?
it's gripped onto your shoulder. So
I'm
if
gonna
you try
just
and
try
move, it's
to.
holding on to you.
I'm gonna just try to sort of flip my swords around that the blades are like
Pointing behind you.
pointing behind me. I'm just gonna try to like stab both of them backwards, like try to stab it in the belly.
Okay. Oh, try your next one. So, as you swing them back, trying to get purchase on something, you feel one completely just miss, fly by and hit nothing. The second one swings up and seems that it does catch some pelt. Roll, roll damage. Oh, 2. So you stab back, doing your best to try and strike the target looking over your shoulder without it ripping your shoulder off. And you manage to score up its side with like a little tiny slice through its fur, but nothing major.
Okay.
On
Get this fucking thing off me!
on Ebom's turn, he stomps over the top of the dead one and
Lifts it up, breaks its spine, done.
reaches over, just like, bad kitty! Grabs onto its jaws as they're biting into your shoulder and starts trying to
Ah!
wrench the jaws
Ah!
open.
Ah!
So now it's strength. Oh fuck, that's not good. Against strength. So as Ebon reaches in, forcing his meaty fingers underneath its shorter teeth and trying to pull up, you can feel its fangs start to come out of you a little bit, and then just go straight back in
Ah! You're supposed to be helping!
as he's trying to rip it out. As he's going, "Rah! Rah!" trying to
Ah!
beat its
Ah!
pull harder than its jaws and rip it off, but just, well, he goes into a mad rage, we'll say, because why not? And he rolls a 1. Luckily, that would have been an advantage on a strength check, so you don't bleed out because of it, luckily. Next would be Umar's turn, and he comes up to the side, shield and the sword ready, slash out with the sword, trying to plunge the blade in through its side. Though, as he goes to strike in, Airbomb's currently trying to rip its jaws open, and it's moving about, and he just can't get a good hit on it. He hits it, but of the way it's moving, it negates the cutting of the blade and just does no damage. But he is ready to attack again. As the Sabertooth now looking over your shoulder as it's biting down, seeing its probably dead mate lying on the ground, forces its fangs in deeper into the wound it's already made,
Ah!
getting a 20 to hit, but it's actually a 23 to hit because it's biting you. It's not really hard to miss. Goddamn. So you feel the fangs force in deep, piercing through. You feel like scraping against your collarbone, uh, dealing you 15 points of damage
Nice.
as it's biting down hard into your shoulder and then tries to pull you by the shoulder down onto the ground. Roll strength. See if you can. As you're trying to keep your feet, the pain is just too much, and you get pulled off your feet as it throws you down onto the ground. Your face now looking up as it releases its jaws from you. You just like see this bloody maw dripping your own blood down onto your face as you're on your back. As it looks like it's ready to finish you by ripping your throat out next turn. It is now Carrick's turn now.
Let's kill this son of a bitch. Redraw the mighty dagger. That's not hit.
So you're running up to try and stab it?
Yeah. Yes, I know. That's my offhand though.
Yes, that would be your bonus action to move it. So you could either attack again or do that. So you run up, abandoning the whip, I'm assuming. And
Yeah.
going to
I'll get the
strike
whip
in.
later.
But as you see it like throwing Beric to the ground, you hesitate slightly and just don't get as good a strike across his pelt. You still have your bonus action.
I will use the on Hunter's Mark.
So you're gonna move it and put it onto this one.
Moving on to that boat there. And that's my turn.
Okay, it is now Beric's turn. Your shoulder's been released from its jaws, the blood just like kind of squirting out, pouring down your clothes as you look up and just see these giant fangs getting ready to close around your throat.
My safe word is peaches.
Peaches!
Fucking, I'm assuming any attacks I do on the ground will be disadvantaged.
If you're prone, yes. You could use half your movement to get up, since you're not being grappled anymore.
I will use half my movement to get up then, and then I can still use both attacks, yeah?
Yep.
Sweet.
Ooh, that is a hit.
Take that, kitty!
So as you're mid getting up, you swing for its neck, slashing across on the way up, and then as you stand your feet down on the neck, nicking the skin slightly, and you can see some blood starting to pour out, but nowhere near as deep a blows as you dealt to the other one.
Okay.
On Airbomb's turn, you see him just swing the hammer round and try and bring it down on the top of its head, where it was trying to prepare to rip out your throat. And it just sees it coming, dodges its head out of the way, and the maw slams into the dirt, sending leaves and pine needles flying everywhere, scattering across the ground. And Avon just starts roaring at it. Roar! And it roars back, and we will see who roars the loudest.
I don't think it likes you.
So Avon tries to intimidate the beast. The beast roars back, and you can see Evan go, "Oh, that's a good roar," as he is being defeated in the roaring contest. Umar swings in with his blade, trying to slide it across the ribs from its back leg up to its front leg. Indeed, it gets a hit, and you see the blade slide across, leaving a gash across where the ribs would be. That's starting to bleed quite heavily.
Good.
But
good.
on its turn, you see it looking around at all the potential targets, weighing up its options, and then
Flee!
it lunges it lunges once more for Beric.
Oh, of course it does. Yep, yep. We could.
They're the one
Didn't
right in
take
front of
a-
it.
Didn't take high intelligence to see that coming.
Indeed. So it lunges for you. This time, like, your arms are out and it grasps onto one of your left arm, like just below the elbow. And as it bites in, it actually starts trying to drag you
Drag.
and run
Okay, yep.
that direction as you take 6 damage from the bite on your arm. Make a strength save to try and resist it. So you're then lifted off your feet as it starts trying to run away this way, but everybody gets a reactionary attack against it as it starts trying to drag you away as best it can.
Yeet.
Roll your damage.
Humble
Six.
D6 coming up. 10 damage. There it is. That's all I can muster.
Then swings for its ass with his hammer, smacks it straight
it's
up
a
the rear. Oh, I didn't need
Mighty
to roll
hit.
2 of
Oh,
those.
Well, the 11 is the first one. So
It is indeed. Umar
just saying.
swings in with the scimitar, but it's just a bit off balance. Didn't expect it to make a bolt for it, and swings by, missing. And
Why is this thing not dead yet?
because it's tough, and it is about here as it starts bolting for it,
How did
holding
it go?
a Barrack in its jaws, just dragging you by the arm across the ground, blood just flying out of your shoulder. Though it is Carrick's turn now, as you see the beast attempting to escape.
Shoot him up the ass.
Roll your attack. That is a hit. And your hunter's mark.
Alright, is he
Ooh.
dead yet?
Where were you aiming?
Considering it's away from me, I've got its options between its ass and its ass. So right up Main Street. Like,
So, you see it starting to run. Whip out your bow. Draw back an arrow and fire straight for the ass of the retreating
so
saber
it goes
tooth.
straight through the tail and into its ass.
And as it's like bounding, like almost like imagine slow motion, tail flowing. This arrow just comes along, enters through the ass, seems to disappear, and then you just see it just keep going for a couple steps, and then just slump forward and just slide across the ground, landing on top of Beric, who's now pinned underneath it as it collapses over with an arrow inserted inside it.
Oh, that's gonna hurt the anal cavity. Dear, dear, dear.
Hello, help!
So, upon it dropping, you see Ebom just starting to laugh. Tiny man crushed by Fluffy Kitty. And comes over and starts trying to just lift the body off of you. But it is quite heavy, and he's now coming out of his rage after the combat is
Umar,
over.
give us a hand
So-
to get this cunt up.
Oh, so you're gonna help as well?
I will help
Okay,
get rid
so
of this.
that would give him advantage. So Ebom, with the help of the rest of the group, managed to lift the giant saber-toothed body up enough for Beric to
you
crawl out
fat
from underneath.
Ah.
With your
Bad Kitty. Just kick it in the head.
Ebom is then like, yeah, bad kitty, and just brings down his maul and just cracks the fucking skull on the ground.
Alright, okay, it's dead. It's dead. We got it. Don't worry.
So now that the
There's
combat's
brain on my boot.
there is indeed now some brain does splatter out from the skull and land on your
God
foot.
damn it, I just bought these shoes.
So now that the combat's over, is there anything you'd like to do?
I want its tooth.
So you're gonna try and extract the teeth.
Yeah,
The
I want
biggest
I want
frickin'
the
tooth.
I want the two teeth from one of them.
I would also like one or two teeth from the
Both
other
of
one.
you make
Sleight of hand.
they're wisdom checks.
Wisdom check.
Yes, wisdom. To see if you're good enough
Oh, a
or know
19.
enough about this kind of thing to extract them safely.
Defang the kitty.
So, Carrick's like, or well, Barrick's sitting there trying to, yank it out, maybe wiggle a dagger in and pull the tooth out.
Jimmy her out, you know.
And then on the other one, Carrick's kind of doing the same thing, but being more of a hunter with your ranger skills and having lived in the mountains for a little bit, perhaps, with your
Yeah.
mountaineering abilities. You've done this a little more, and you managed to pop out two of the teeth from the first one that was dead, and then go over and help with the second one and pop out both of those teeth.
Yeah.
There you go.
So do you want
Enjoy the
two
pain.
each?
2 each
Yeah.
would be nice, yeah.
Uh,
And now we're gonna have to get to the harvesting.
do
We
these
need a bit of
things
meat for the
taste
menu.
good?
They're bound
No
to.
clue. Never had one
Cat.
before.
Cat. I'm sure puma and lion taste lovely.
Mm.
How hard can it be?
So you're gonna try and cut one up and cook it?
Cut one up and cook it. Need our meat in the menu, like.
I'm
Add
gonna
a
go
protein.
pass out and go back to sleep.
You do that.
Well,
I'm gonna have a
before I
big
do,
old
I'm
steak.
going to use the
Health regen.
Your hit dice.
Yes,
How many do you want to use?
all of them.
Then you have 2 d8s and 2 d10s. 17.
That was crap.
That was indeed. So if anything else comes near during the night, you will have 24 health.
Okay, and then I'm just gonna go immediately to sleep.
Now that you're going back to the camp, roll perception.
Oh great.
Okay, nothing seems amiss. And you go to sleep after your brutal wounds. Macaulay, anything else you're doing?
Other than cooking me a nice bit of steak for the next couple of days.
So you're gonna cut up the saber tooth and cook it up?
I mean, I'm not an expert in alchemy, so unfortunately in Skyrim I can't take its eye and then throw it into a healing potion or some shit like that, so...
For this, make a survival check to cut it up and get some decent meat from it.
Yay! 19. Flip, that is
Yeah, so
some nice wisdom.
you do manage to cut up a decent portion of meat that's usable. Roll a 2d4s to see.
2d4s.
Yeah.
A 4 and a 1.
So you would manage to get 5 good sizable
Good bits of steak.
steaks. Yeah.
Excellent.
I'm assuming you want to cook those
I'll cook them now, aye, so...
so you'll be finishing off the watch to cook your steaks.
yes,
guessing.
I will. Have I slept yet? No. But if I do sleep, I get health
Everybody
regen?
is slept a little bit at this point.
Oh, okay.
So now that you're going back to the camp, make a perception check.
Oh, there couldn't be any more of them, really.
So
Only one. Frick,
as-
3 good rolls in a row. This
as
is
you're,
gonna
like,
be a 1 then.
checking around the camp and sitting down near your stuff, you're like, huh. My bag
wish.
looks not as full as it was previously. Roll a d8. to.
Oh god.
Okay, so as you open your bag up, you see that 7 days worth of rations have gone missing from your bag, and you only have one left.
7!
7 days of rations have gone missing.
That fat fuck.
Do you want to check the rest of the party's food rations?
I already know who it is.
Check,
I
Jacob, do you want
wonder
to
who
roll
in our
your own
party.
D8?
It's £300.
You're doing a Gollum right now. You're just like, Tim, he's the fat one.
Well, Beric needs to roll a D8 as well. As
Oh yeah,
Carrick's
your
checking around
food's
the
got
bags.
nicked. Wait, what?
You're looking around the bags, like seeing, like, hold on, my food's gone. What the fuck? You look over at Beric's bag, and instead of 8 days food there's 4 days food.
So I lost 7 because I rolled a 7.
Yes, I'm getting you to roll for how much of your food has gone missing. So you can only
Andrew,
blame yourself.
I hate you. The minute I roll well and you take my ability to roll well away from me.
Which one of you wants to roll for Umar?
I'll roll for Umar.
Roll another
I have
D8.
no food left. At least I've got steak.
Oh yeah, so
He's got none.
Umar
No
goes
food.
over to his bag and he's just like, fuck. Where the fuck's all my food gone? Ebom goes over to his bag and
It's all in his bag.
actually, no,
Rolls
you'll
a
have to wait and
4D8.
see. No, I'm rolling for Ebom's food because he started with a lot of food. And Ebom looks in his bag, he's like,
Fuck.
what the fuck's my food? Because he had 18 days rations in his bag since he
hell?
started with
Oh.
20. And he just like holds up this little tiny sack, and you see that there's maybe like 3 bits of bread in it. He's like,
That's
who the
my
fuck
God.
ate my food? I didn't eat my food. And you can see he's starting to get angry.
I'm just.
Alright, Mackay, roll investigation. Is there not looking around the camp?
Investigation unknown. Where the frig is it? There it is.
Okay, so looking at the
Okay.
ground, you like get down low, looking around, and around the cleared patch of ground that you'd cleared for your camp and campfire, you see some really small paw prints, some crumbs and scraps of food lying on the ground, almost covered in dirt.
Oh, did we just like
See-
dead ass kill this couple's children? I mean, parents, children's parents, parents. That Cubs parents. Boom. I'll get it.
So,
There. Fine.
Like,
Are these male and female? That's what I want to know now.
they are.
Yeah. We said that in the comment.
And
There we go.
like, as you're looking around, you do see like a little patch of fur that seems to maybe fallen off and caught on the edge of the fire. These are quite small paw prints.
I kind of want a saber-toothed cub now as a pet. I'm guessing I can't track it at night,
Yeah, you could
even
try.
with Elven vision.
Could always
Elven
try.
vision. But I'll probably get lost.
Do you want to try and track it?
I'll track it a bit, but see how far I can go. I don't want to lose sight of lawn campfire.
Roll survival.
This will frig me now. Oh my!
So,
What?
as you're looking around the campsite and checking out these paw prints, you can see that there's an area that's got more, and it seems to be where a couple different sets of prints came in and then went out again.
What do you mean, like off?
Like they came in one
Out of our
direction and went out the same direction. And are you
Like
gonna like
normal.
continue away from the camp to search? Or just stay within the firelight?
Let's keep going.
Okay, so getting to the edge of the fire, it's getting harder to keep a track of these prints and tracks across the like the ground now that it's not clear and open with the pine needles, the leaves. you'll need to roll another survival to keep tracking as the light fades away from the fire.
Not brilliant.
So it's difficult to keep track of the tracks, and as they're going along, you get a good way out, maybe 30-50 feet outside the light of the fire, and then it seems as though they've disappeared. In the darkness, at least, you can't
Son
find any
of
more
a
sign
bitch.
of where the tracks go.
Right. Here's what I will do. I'm gonna take my dagger and slice X on the tree that I was at last, that's closest to these prints, and then go back to
Okay.
camp.
Oh yeah. Anything else you'd like to do, or just wait for the remainder of the night?
Can I cut up the other kitten, considering we have no food?
So, cut up like the second one and cook it.
Yes.
You can just roll 2d4s to
2d4s.
see
very
how many
kind of you.
steaks you can cut up off it.
Oh, 7 steaks. What's that total now then?
So,
12?
total-
Oh yeah. 12 steaks.
Yep. though you all would
so.
need to eat your food for the
We'll all have a
night.
steak each, and so that's 4. And I'll give a steak, an additional steak to everyone else
So you're gonna
for the next day.
like spread them out pretty much.
Spread them out a wee bit, yeah. So everyone gets to have one now, and everyone will get to have one later. And
Everyone
I
makes
don't-
like fucking 3.
but he's not getting
Yeah.
3. This is all the food we have. So we're gonna have to.
Yes, you did get little food thieves. Do you want to give everyone 1 or give everyone 2?
2 to eat. Alright, 1 now, 1 later.
Okay.
And I don't know what that's left. Is that like 6 or 4 for me? Or like, I don't know.
You would have 4 left. Yeah.
I have 4 left. Well, that's
After
enough
everybody
for an
eats
alert.
theirs.
Considering I cut it up and did the taste, this is just a wee bit for myself.
So, nothing anyone else wants to do during the night?
Regen health, and that's it.
Okay, so the rest of the night seems to pass without incident.
The knife.
Yes. And you awaken the next morning, sunlight bleeding through the trees that are
Hey,
now
Bleeding through the floor.
slowly beginning to look less green every day, the cold creeping in during the night and lingering throughout the day. So, what do you want to do? Beric has awoke and
Let's
been in.
make some breakfast.
You like go to
What
look
the
in your
fuck?
bag and you see that almost all of your rations are gone, and the rest of the party. Then, do you want to inform him in a specific way, Macaulay?
What, that all our food? Did he notice all his food's gone?
No, he was asleep.
Whenever we were engaged by these goddamn cats, something came in behind us, took almost all of our food, and left.
Well,
I'm
fuck
assuming
that
it's the
shit.
cubs. I could only track them for about 60 foot, whatever direction it was.
What way?
I don't
Well,
remember.
just say like pretty much
North.
that way, but we don't really need a map. But
West.
in the
West.
what would be in the direction probably actually the other way towards the mountains.
I get my
Right.
gear on and I immediately start setting out.
Do you want to look for the tracks or just head that direction?
I
Head-
wanna retrack what I was doing last night.
When I head to
basically.
the sort of direction that Macaulay pointed.
Okay, so Macaulay, roll a survival check for Carrick.
Sure.
Airborne, you can see, is looking furious, a face like thunder, like, no fucking food. Goddamn hungry. I could eat both of you. And you see him like
I
kind
roll
of
one too.
drooling. Are you gonna help track the
Yeah.
tracks? Okay, roll survival. Okay,
Not
so
too bad.
you're tracking along. You manage to get back to the
Looking for
same
my-
spot where
My big old
the
X on
tracks
a
had
tree.
ended the night before. And looking at the ground, you can see a rough direction they go, but then you don't see them go much further. They're definitely heading, and I will open the big map back up.
Okay.
Zoom in.
Zoom in. How far are we talking here?
Well, you know,
128%.
I had to zoom in because I was
Oh.
like zoomed away out.
Yeah.
But they're definitely heading in like this kind of easterly direction.
We shall follow the tracks.
So you only saw the tracks go for maybe another like 15 or so feet, and then you lose them in the undergrowth, but that's the direction they were heading.
Follow it in that direction and see if we can pick up the tracks again.
Okay.
Try pick them up again, yeah.
Make
Survival.
another survival check as you're starting to travel that direction.
Oh, I rolled very poorly. Wrong
So
time, come on.
Carrick walk along, sees some other track, like you see a couple sets of tracks now that have crossed over. And there's some that are now starting to head more north, and some that are continuing to head east. Not really knowing which ones are which, Carrick says that he thinks it's the northern ones, but Peric thinks it's the eastern ones. So solve this issue amongst yourselves. You've both spotted the same set of tracks, but there's two different
I think
animals.
it's north, and he thinks it's east.
Yes.
Or-
You think the tracks heading north are the right ones, and Beric thinks the tracks heading east are the right ones.
Aye,
But in
that's
game,
done.
neither of you would know which ones are right because you wouldn't have seen a one.
What do you mean that it's the right track? For one, it's not even going in the direction it traveled. I think this thing just walked away over here and just was like, oh yeah, I'll just change direction. You know, because I'm totally intelligent like that.
That is true.
No, I thought you were supposed to be a ranger. Like, aren't you not
I've
supposed to
done
be
alright
good
up
at
to this point. I'm still here, aren't I?
You know
Or not.
what? You know what? Do you want to go north? Do you want to go north? Or
No,
Gonna-
I can't. I won't be able to stand listening to you if turns out to be nothing. So we will do what you do. Your
Okay.
plan.
That could have been interesting if you'd said yes. So you continue heading east.
yeah.
Okay. So as you're starting
Assuming-
to
Ooh, Marnell's with us.
head
at this
east,
point.
you're beginning to see the mountain that you'd previously climbed. It's now coming along to be more of a southerly direction towards you, and you could see the other peaks off to a kind of like the northeast and like kind of southeast, like southeast east.
I'm assuming we've noticed no dragons in the sky
Not yet.
Wagon.
on our travel.
Though, as you're traveling this day, you do see that the sky is a lot darker than the previous days, and a light dusting of
Oh,
snow.
I forgot to lift my whip.
We'll just say you got the whip.
Okay.
You climbed up the tree, fell on your ass, getting it down, and hurt your tailbone.
Oh, I broke my collarbone.
But you do start to see a light snow shower beginning.
Great.
Well, pick up the pace, sure. Oh, wait, no, we're tracking. We can't really
So-
do that.
The snow is starting to lie on the ground. You're far enough north that, like the previous rain and sleet that had been starting a couple days back, is now. It
Full
had
bore
stopped,
frostbite.
and now it's snow just lightly falling on the ground, kind of like a dusty layer, not like actual like an inch of snow or anything, just like a light layer coating the ground.
No, the
So
Tracks
that
are
will
fun.
that will give you advantage on following the tracks if you're close enough to the creature.
Okay.
Which are we?
So advantage
Or roll
Survival?
advantage on survival.
Oh my
Wow.
goodness, could I roll any more shit?
Okay, so
Oh no, I thought the 4 and 2 was me.
no. So going along, the snow has started to fall, and at the start, the tracks you were following seem to get covered, and you're
What?
only able to barely follow along as Carrick's like almost right on the ground inspecting the snow.
I'm on
And
all fours.
as,
Look at
as
the
you
crowd. No. Yes, they've been here.
they went this way. So as you
I can smell it.
Man flesh.
as you're creeping along, following the tracks as best you can, you then it's maybe like probably like you're about half the day in, and maybe about 30 minutes after the snow starts to fall, you do start seeing fresh tracks in the snow. And there seems to be three separate sets.
Are they the same?
They're going the same
Ooh.
the same direction, and what you can
Are
tell.
they an animal?
Oh yes, they're like paw prints.
Aye, so
Oh,
it's
let's
like
go. Let's go.
it's more than like could we more than likely assume that it is like the children of
That would be the logical assumption to make.
okay. Totally befriend one of them, Car.
So at this point, you can
Yes,
start to
that's the
see
idea.
a clear set of tracks.
We will follow them. Hopefully they're not the teenage age yet. But
So you want to follow them as far as you can go until you either find them or it's too dark to continue.
well, they've got to be in like a wee cave, surely, or somewhere. I don't know. Yes, we will.
Okay.
I want pet kitten.
So as you're debating where they might be living and having potentially pet baby cats, you the tracks seem to be getting fresher and fresher as you go along, and you're still like in deep forest at this point, but it's getting hillier as you go along,
Excellent.
and up in the distance, you begin to see what looks like a rocky cliff face, maybe 12 feet up, and the tracks are heading that direction.
Oh,
Though
we'll
the
just
sun
later
is
on up.
the sun is starting to get lower in the sky.
How tall is it? 12 foot?
Yeah, it's about 12 feet up.
Oh, sure. It takes 5 minutes getting up that. Like, not a bother.
Roll perception, both of you.
Booyah.
Okay, so as Carrick's looking at it going, oh yeah, wouldn't take long to climb up that. You then start looking at where you would start climbing up, and you do see what looks to be a slight crack in the cliff face. That
A crack?
as you start to follow along, like you see it like off on the side, pretty hard to see. But as you start to circle around closer, you see it widen up into a decent sized opening in the side of this like drop off cliff where the ground has been eroded away, leaving this rock open.
Jackpot. Stay close, boys.
I think I heard someone.
He's muted.
Possibly
His
being
mic goes
invaded.
up when he's muted himself. We'll just pause here. So.
Well, lead the way and try not to fall off the edge of the mountain this time.
We're
There
going
isn't
into
actually
here.
like a mountain in the way. You're just kind of going
Oh,
down,
is
and
that-
it's
it's
kind of like a ditch where the ground's been eroded away, and there's like the earthy banks, and then some kind of rocky cliff-like banks where this kind of crack in the rock cave looks.
Let's go on in then.
Better on
I
in. Better
suppose
on in the
when I
bush.
get in, I'll light up the old hooded lantern with a wee candle.
So you stick a candle into your lantern.
No,
Sir?
yes, I do stick a landle in it.
Yes, a
Yeah.
landle into the into
A landle
the
in
into
A
the
into the
land,
cal
a
cal
landfill into
a
cantern cantern.
cantern.
Yeah.
Caltron.
So as you start creeping your way in, roll some stealth, the both of you. The other two are staying outside since it's quite a narrow passway.
Oh my. God.
That is a pretty good stealth.
Damn, I love stealth.
This feels like a plus fucking.
7. It's so
Wait a minute.
unreal. Like,
Why is my stealth only +3?
Yeah, why is yours only a +3?
you lower dexterity or?
That's better. For some reason it got unticked. Wait, why do you have a religion? Get the fuck. You don't have religion skills.
Religious zeal. Ugh.
Okay, that's
Yes,
better.
Wolves, comrade.
So yours would have been a 17.
Yay.
So- As you start to sneak your way in, you do begin to hear a low growling noise, like not
Is
very
it
deep.
dark in here?
Oh, it's very dark.
Okay.
Your light is
Love,
just
imagine.
casting long shadows across the ground. It's a very narrow little entrance that you're creeping through.
Imagine if I fed it, its mother. You want a bit of steak there, bud?
Yeah, I've never did anything like that before.
But you do hear some like low, kind of
me-
high-pitched growling coming from inside.
Do we know the size of them? No, we
Nope,
probably
you
don't.
haven't
can't
seen
see.
them yet. How do you want to proceed?
We'll just proceed on. We'll just.
Get ready with a bag of rations. And maybe a steak.
What rations?
Fuck that.
So,
They're
as
gonna
you're
become the rations.
as you're creeping in,
I want to see how big they
Um,
are.
and the light starts to spill around the walls. You see the cave start to open up a little bit, and roll perception out of your inside.
Oh, tell you.
Ah, I rolled a 1. It doesn't matter. So
On the 19.
you see in the center of this cave, there's what looks to be like a lot of like dried grass, twigs, different things that seem to have been brought in and laid down as some sort of bedding. Sprawled across the floor, there are a couple sacks that look familiar as some of the sacks you were storing food in, and different bits of rations just scattered across the floor, partially eaten in places, crumbs here and there. As you step through, you do see, like, at your feet, there are some crumbs as well. And on the far wall of the room, you see what look to be 3 abnormally large, fluffy cats. Think of the biggest cat you've ever seen in your life, okay?
Nice.
And then maybe like double the size of that cat. So a medium, smaller
So
sized
it's a
dog.
dog.
Medium,
Yeah.
smaller sized dog. And there's 3 of them like cowered up against his back wall. You can see their little tiny fangs coming out of their upper jaws, and they're
Are they
snarling
feared?
at you.
Or are we feared? That is the question.
Well, they're snarling at you.
Fuck are we fear?
There's...
The things we fought, and we're gonna be feared of like
Ah, yeah, fair enough.
3-teethed kittens. Come on.
So what are you gonna do?
I really want one of them, but I mean, if I take one, what are the
Skin
chances
'em!
of it all? What do you
Skin 'em
want to kill
all!
them? No, I want
Uh,
a pet cougar or mountain lion saber-tooth thing. And then you just kill its brother and sister. Ah, yeah.
Well,
good
right,
one.
you know what, Kark? If that's how you feel, you go right ahead. I'm gonna stand right here and, laugh as you get attacked by these.
This is gonna be the. Is this gonna be the first animal handling role of the
You've
game
made a
that
couple, I
involves
think.
another animal?
Oh,
Ah,
Air
but
Bomb's
this
made one.
involves another animal.
So, what are you doing? They're at the far side of this little cave from you.
Far side. I will set my rations in the middle and then walk back. To the
There's
back.
already quite a bit of rations spilled across the floor.
Ah.
So you're like going to set your rations down, and you're like,
Kark, go feed it some. go feed it some meat and give it a little pet. No, there's nothing that could go possibly wrong.
Don't know what to do here, really. I don't know how to feed a cat. Don't know one.
You can always try whatever you think of, and we'll see how the dice rolls go.
What are you
Echoing-
blabbering about?
Echoing through the cave, you do hear this noise as Derek seems to be insulting you.
Right, throw the meat. Throw a steak up and then.
Okay. You chuck a steak over. Just attempt an animal handling roll. Attempt.
Here we go.
With disadvantage.
Disadvantage.
Disadvantage on this one.
Damn me under. Oh shit, terrible.
So, as this slab of cooked saber-toothed steak slams down next to them,
Lovely.
the three of them pull back, fangs bared, snarling at you.
Well, that didn't work.
Fuck, you're really good at this, Carrick.
How are you going to proceed now? They're trying to back up from you, but they're as far from you as they can possibly
They're
get in this
trying
cave.
to back up.
They're trying to back up. These are like pretty much kittens.
Ah, fuck it, we'll go straight up to them then.
You walk straight up,
With the rations.
Whoa,
not the
whoa,
steak,
whoa,
they're
whoa,
not-
whoa, 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 whoa.
make animal
Why not?
handling as you're stepping up. And Barrick's
Never-
trying to stop you.
Never owned
Oh.
a fucking dog before?
It's not a dog.
Make your animal handling. You started stepping up. And, okay. So, as you're starting to step up, you see fear in their eyes, but they haven't done anything yet.
Right.
What do you want to do next?
Would they actually attack me? Like, what the? They're freaking kittens.
You don't know. Remember, these are dog-sized kittens. Saber-tooths are very large. Like a saber-tooth's like the size of a horse. So, those two you killed were like horse, cow-sized cats.
Big enough, like. I have no idea.
As you're debating what to do, make
I
another
will
animal.
go down on one knee. I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know what the hell. And just hold my hand out with rations on it and say, because I literally don't know what I'm doing here.
Make another animal handling. See how that
The,
goes.
this doesn't translate well from owning a dog in real life, where the dog's like, "Oh, you're eating a biscuit. I think I'll have
Make a
that. Some
roll.
of that, thank you." That's how it translates in real life. Animal
Do
handling.
tamed animals. Roll your animal handling.
Oh shit.
So you're like going down on one knee, reaching out a hand with some rations in it. Towards them, yeah.
Yes.
So as you're doing that, you
Get attacked.
see the larger one move. Like there's three, a smaller one, a medium one, and a bigger one. You see the bigger one, like they're all roughly the same size, but one's just slightly bigger. Must have been born first. So you see it take one step forward, 2 steps forward. Now you need to make an acrobatic save as it crouches down and lunges for you.
Get out of here, you freaking Jew.
So it goes skidding onto the ground past you, baring its teeth. And now make 2 more as the 2 smaller ones come from
Seriously?
behind you towards you. Oh, oh.
Get out of here!
So this first
Get
one
out! Get
jumps
out!
for you. You fall to your side as it jumps in like straight past you where you were standing.
Literally goddamn Legolas.
The second one comes for you and you manage to kick off a rock, slide back out of the way, and the third one pounces down to where you are and you roll out of the way of that one as all 3 land down next to you.
So you have chosen death?
Now, roll initiative, McCoy, as you're about to be attacked by all three of them, since you essentially failed all three of your animal handling rolls, and they did not take kindly. What? Okay,
Hi. Hi.
There
so
was
you're
nothing
going
gained,
first.
There was nothing lost, so shut the hell up.
You're going first. What do you want to do? You now have like pretty much one 10 feet to your left, one 5 feet to your right, and one like 10 feet straight in front of you.
Where's the biggest one?
It's to your left, about 10 feet away.
First rule of the yard. It's to my left.
Yep.
Well. Oh, the attack
So-
let me down.
You draw your short sword and try and swing out for it, but it steps out of the way. You still have your bonus action.
I can't do Hunter's Mark. No, it was really is.
Well, you
what
could
else
use your
would a
bonus
kitten
up.
have or a dog?
You could try and Hunter's Mark though for your bonus action.
Am I allowed to do that?
If you want a Hunter's Mark, then you can, yeah. You can do it on pretty much anything. People, monsters, animals, whatever you want.
Can I be a part of this?
If you want to help him, you can, yeah.
Shouldn't
Or you
you
could
down.
stand
Right.
back and
Can I stealth up behind the little one?
roll stealth. And we'll put you at we'll just put you at the in second in the initiative
That's
order.
actually insane. Like 22, 22, and 24 acrobatics.
So- As you're trying to creep along the wall, the smallest one, which would be closest to you, doesn't see you, but the medium one that's slightly further away does, and starts snarling and getting ready to creep your direction.
Right. Wanna
Oh yeah?
can I run up and then throw the little one in a sack?
You don't have a sack that would be big enough.
Empty out your entire inventory. Stuff it
You
in
would
the
need
bag.
like your whole backpack, and then even then, like your whole backpack
Note
would
to
not
self,
fit it in it.
buy a sack next time.
Hmm. Does it look like these things could hurt us?
Yes.
Like,
Of course they could. They're big dogs.
no, like, but I mean, what if they're just like play fighting or something? I don't know.
Oh, they're down low to the
They're
ground,
not playing
snarling,
I've just
fangs out,
dodged 3
lips
attacks.
pulled back. What do you want to try and do?
Ah,
You have been spotted.
I really wanted one as a pet.
Suppose
but
I'll just
goddamn animal handling. What am I doing?
I'll attack the one that's like spotted me then.
Okay. So you run forward, try and slash out at it. Make your attacks. So it was ready for the first, ducks out of the way, but ducks into the second. Roll your damage.
Oh, it's not looking good for medium-sized
That
kitten.
is good. So you slash medium-sized saber-toothed kitten like across, like where like the neck meets the shoulder, and you dig in deep, maybe an inch or two in, and it pulls back, cowering down low to the ground, but it's still alive.
Is
but
it gonna
barely.
attack again, or
You don't know yet. So the larger one that Carrick just stabbed with his dagger. You
Yes.
see it snarl, its lips pull back from its fangs, and it just pounces on top of you.
Excellent.
First, roll your strength.
Oof. Don't know if that's good or bad.
So, as you're off balance from your strike, it just pushes up, plants its paws onto your shoulders, pushing into the ground, and bites down, going for your neck, but catches into your shoulder and deals you. Oh, it rolled max 8 damage.
Seriously, for a
That's
kitten.
right. Now, Mackay, you gotta remember, adults had like 6-inch long fangs. These babies' fangs are probably like 2 inches long. So these are digging quite deep into your skin. Like if a dog bit you, it's gonna hurt. If this thing bites you with longer
gonna
fangs
really
than a
hurt.
dog, it's gonna really hurt.
Goddamn dog. Right,
So
fine.
as you got bit by that one, taking 8 damage, the smaller one, then you see it darting around and trying to jump up onto Beric's back. Now you will need to make a strength check to not get knocked over. So
Andrew, for reference here, if I had rolled any well on animal handling, would anything have worked? No.
if you had have
yeah.
rolled well, it would have worked.
Oh,
But I was
Yeah, the
putting the
rolls
bench line
always
at I was
forsake
putting the bench line at 15. So if you had rolled more than 15, then it would have been going to the
God
better
damn,
side.
you rolled 20.
But you rolled 3 below 15, so it was 3 fails in a row, and they were just like, fuck this shit, he's gonna kill us, let's get him first. And now they're trying to eat you. You could always
Really
turn it
bad.
around if you end up.
Whenever you want something, roll 20 lets you down. But see, whenever you need, it does come back,
Because, like,
but also screws
you now have like 3 marks as a failure, but you could always keep trying. And you
I
could.
might try with a little one, but the big one, you gotta kill the big one first.
Well, the little one has pounced onto Beric's back, knocked him to the ground, like it's got you chest down onto the ground. But as it tries to scrape at you with its claws, it's just scratching across the breastplate at the back. Failing to purchase anything.
Dies.
And as you've plummeted face first onto the ground, the one you cut into its neck, it sees that the fight might be turning, its siblings are fighting back, and it brings down its jaws to try and grab onto your neck if it can.
Tramp.
It barely connects to you. And it tries to like go for your neck, but they're small, they're inexperienced, they haven't really done any fighting before, and its fangs, like the longer fangs, kind of pierce into the back of your neck. But then as it tries to like bite on, it's like, wait, how do I
How do I
rip someone's throat out? I don't understand. And its fangs just kind of poke you and they're sticking in, doing 4 damage, but it doesn't like actually bite and rip your throat out because it doesn't know how to do that yet.
Grace.
Ow.
Yes, it looks like you've been
Tramp.
bit by a vampire now. That's essentially what it looks like. But what would Carrick be doing now?
Oh, flippin', get this cunt off me and stab him.
And you're gonna actually try and get him off you because that would be a strength
Yes.
roll.
Well, I
your
can't really
strength.
attack with a sword if I'm being laid on top of by a...
Attempt your strength to break free.
Oh, my
You're lucky.
Literally.
If
What
you'd
is
wa-
this?
That's a 20 plus, well, minus 1.
Yeah,
But see, if you'd
minus one.
rolled 1 less, you would have lost because I got a total of 18. So
Suck a bag of dicks.
you bring your
little pussy
your
cat.
knee up from under it, just ram it right in the gut with your knee, rolling
I
it
want to
off
land on
you,
top of this cunt. It's a crit. I'm
and
gonna stab him.
then make another grapple check because you've got him off you and you're on your feet.
Oh, so you have to do...
Like you're on your feet now.
If I do strength, do I forfeit an attack?
Yeah. It's like you
Nah,
can't
let's
attack
just
with your
kill
main hand. You can still attack with your offhand.
Oh, it's a 1.
Of course it
Look at that.
is. Of course it is. Okay, so you roll him off, you try and swing for him with your dagger, but it just rolls across the ground, using momentum of you kicking it off to dodge the strike.
Could you imagine if that was a strength save and I rolled a 1? It would probably
You would have
just
been
re-land.
re-grappled back to the ground.
Re-grab. Well, thank goodness I didn't.
It is now Beric's turn, as you're being pinned to the ground by the
Tramp.
smallest of these kittens.
Gonna see if I can just stand up first of all.
Make your strength against it.
Oh no.
So you
Probably
try
wouldn't
and
want-
push yourself up, but one of its paws slams into your face. You can feel the claws starting to come out and pierce into your skin as the other
Ow,
one's
ow, ow,
pushing down on
ow,
your neck
ow,
with its
ow,
fangs,
ow,
holding
ow.
you down.
I
You still have your offhand.
pull out my knife and or my dagger and try to stab the one that's on my neck.
This will be a disadvantage for being
Disadvantage.
prone and grappled. Ooh, almost. They have a 12.
Close.
So you pull it out and try and stab up at it, but it brings its fangs off your neck, barely ducking out of the way of the blade as it kind of shaves a couple hairs off its neck.
Bit
And
little bitch.
it is then their turn.
Yeah, we
well,
tell
we'll-
you, like,
Well,
I'll
it
try
doesn't
and
matter now. But could I use action surge? Couldn't I? Because I was slapped.
you would have needed to use action surge, then make your offhand attack.
Yeah, I know. But I'm just saying, like, I can still use it, can't I?
Yeah, you can still use it because it's a new day now.
Yep. Okay.
But the large one, after just rolling out of the way, you see it start to creep around the cave, keeping kind of close.
small one.
The large one that's at you, and then you see it kind of slowly creeping around you. Roll perception.
Did I really? Yeah. Wait, this thing was on top of me, and what? Then just
Roll,
creeps
roll
around me.
perception. This one's
That
circling around you, but roll perception.
No,
So
no,
as
not
this
having
one's
fun.
rolling right, going around in front of you, trying to draw your gaze, you glance over your shoulder and see that the medium-sized one that had Beric by the neck
Oh,
was
bring it.
about to try and pounce on your back. So it then launches forward towards you, leaving Beric prone on the ground with the small cat, jumps towards you, claws outstretched. And
Did I not see this coming?
you do, which is why it doesn't get advantage on you. It just gets a normal attack.
Son of a bitch.
Now make your strength as it pounces onto your...
Fuck, not
onto your back.
again.
This is their thing.
Like,
This is their thing. So
actual dog.
this one lands on you, digging its claws deep into your shoulders. And claws are not as good as bite. I should remember that.
Friday endurance.
Digs its claws into your shoulders, getting narrowly past your armor, dealing you 6 points of damage.
IGN. 9
And
of 10 masterpiece.
then its weight on your back and this sudden impact slams you down onto your chest as you're now pinned to the ground and grappled. The larger one then approaches up
Get pissed at this.
and tries to go for your throat with a bite, but you barely just manage to shift yourself a little bit and its jaws snap closed inches from your neck. The smaller one on top of a Beric brings its jaws down to try and grab you by the back of the neck while still standing on top of your back. But as you're struggling underneath it, it just is too focused on holding you down to actually grab your neck. And it is Carrick's turn. What do you want to do? You've got one
Yeah,
on top of you, one biting for your neck.
Get these cunts off, man. Want to kill them.
Okay. You'll need to
I'll have
make
to
your
roll
strength,
strength.
yep, to overpower it. Oh, so you managed to, like, from on your back, bring your elbow up round the side, smack it in the face, knocking it off balance, so you can roll over, get back onto your feet.
Can I attack with my main hand, though?
That would be your main hand attack to break the grapple. So you only have your offhand to strike out with. Breaking the grapple takes your main action. Otherwise, you would attack at disadvantage, being prone and pinned.
Oh god, still not enough. Fucker.
So you've knocked it aside, swung out with your dagger, just narrowly missing the side of its head, just clipping its ear. You
I'm
could
getting really bored of this.
you could try and move
Hmm.
Move to where though?
out of the cave to help Beric.
Where? Where's Barrack? I thought he was in the cave with me.
He is like you could either go out or like move to stay close. You're
I
like
will
kind of one
stay
at each
close to
side.
Barrack, and
So you're gonna back up
I'd
from
love
them.
to. I'd love to kick the kitten on him, but I'm not allowed to do that.
So you're slowly backing up towards Beric, and they're creeping closer, kind of forcing you back that way. It's now Beric pinned onto the ground.
Is it just this one, or is there other
Just
ones
that
still
one
alive?
on top of you. The other two are facing Carrick right now.
Okay, right. Well, I'll just try to get up again. That was wrong.
Yeah, it would have been the 19. So
Uh,
you managed to roll as it's distracted looking at Carrick coming its direction. You roll over, swinging your fist up, smacking it with your blade as hard as you can, knocking it off you, leaving you with your offhand to strike as you get to your feet.
What is the kitten roll for strength?
A 12.
2?
But Jacob wasn't meant to roll disadvantage.
Oh, okay.
Can I roll? Is this the little kitten I'm fighting?
This is the little kitten. This is the
Can I-
smallest.
Roll with non-lethal damage.
You can, yeah.
What will I use? Still use the dagger, will
Whatever one you want. Long sword or dagger.
I? Oh yeah, fuck, forgot about that. Yeah, I'll use the long sword. Just use the hilt.
Holy
It's just from the smack it with the pommel.
Fucker!
That is a hit.
Oh, it's
Oh,
golf
no!
time, bitches!
So are you gonna like kind of, what's it called, half blade it, where you hold the blade and whack it with the pommel?
Yeah.
So you just flip the blade around in your hands, grabbing it through your like leather gloves, swack, like swing, whack it across the head with the pommel, and with a crack, you just see it slump over to the ground, knocked out, still breathing, but there's a trickle of blood running down its temple.
I'll be
Lovely.
crying. Bit of brain damage, you know.
Probably attack us next time we go to the dragon.
Okay.
Oh well.
Anything else you'd like to do? You could still move.
I'll just sort of line up with Garrick. Prepare to fight these other two.
Okay. It is now the kitty cat's turn. And they're both creeping along. You see one is starting to limp, the one that you slashed with your longsword at the start. It is starting to limp pretty heavily, and blood's freely trickling down its fur and dripping onto the ground. As they start circling one around each side. And then they both strike at the same time, one running from the left, one from the right, pouncing onto both of you. And roll
Gets me,
your.
doesn't get.
It does not get Carrick. It fails to hit you, so it just kind of jumps, barely misses, and lands
Is
beside
this
you.
the big one?
That's
at
that's
me?
the medium one.
Why did he change to? Okay.
The larger one jumps for Beric. He plants onto your chest, sinking its fangs into the still fresh wounds where its parent had previously bit you. But you keep on your feet and you don't get knocked over. Yes, this would be a very painful bite. And it does 9 damage into your still fresh, not healed very well yet wound.
By the gods.
Though it is now Carrick's turn.
Can I use my main hand?
You can. You're no longer pinned to the ground because it missed. That
That's
is a hit.
And a flippin'
Are you
die.
going for lethal damage or knock it out?
Just knock out the medium one.
Okay.
if
So
possible.
You bring out your sword, swing it, hit it with the flat of the blade across the head, and you see it stumble to the side a bit, look at you, and then just slump down onto the ground. Its just feet just kind of slip out from under it and it just slides down. And it is knocked out.
Right.
Anything else you'd like to do? You still have a bonus action.
Stab the other one.
So you come around and try and stab it while it's on Beric's chest.
Just put my lovely. I've got a sword in one hand. Just put my left hand over it and then just right hand right into the gut.
Roll your attack.
What?
You need to get rid of that fucking dagger. It's shite.
That's... No, it's not that. It's roll 20. Said you got 2 22s or 24. Now must give
So-
you 2 1s.
As you go to grab it and shank it to its side, one of its back feet swings out with the claws extended, knocking your hand to the side, flinging your dagger across the cave, and like scratching your armor but not doing any damage. But it's now Beric's turn. As you have this thing holding onto your chest, teeth sunk into you about 2 inches deep into your skin.
Do I have to throw this thing off me, or can I just attack it somehow from?
If you went to attack, it's like grappling you, but you can attack it and you wouldn't have disadvantage because you're no longer
Okay.
like pinned down.
Right, well, I'll just hit it with the long sword,
That is a hit.
and then I shall use my action surge.
Yep. And then you have one more
Uh,
main hand and then one offhand. That is another hit. Okay. And another hit.
Good grief. Oh,
Okay.
Instead of the duck.
This is all non-lethal, or actually,
All non-lethal. Good grief. How many times are you gonna hit him over the head?
I'm gonna say it's all lethal damage actually, because the situation that I'm in, it would be very
It's-
difficult
yeah.
to do non-lethal damage.
So it's like got its claws stuck into your like shoulder on one side, onto your arm on the other, its back feet scraping across the chest piece trying to like kick your guts out, but it can't get your guts because the metal's in the way. Fangs sunk into your shoulder, and you just bring up your long sword from underneath it and just thrust once straight up through like its belly, up under its rib cage with the other blade. Same thing, sliding them both one after the other up through its belly, past the rib cage where like the lungs and the heart would be, and you just feel blood, not your own blood, but blood get spat down onto your shoulder as its fangs release, and it just falls backwards off you onto the ground, lifeless. A pool of blood just filling the bottom of this little cave.
Giggity. What time of day is it under?
It would be getting close to dark by the time all this happened and you got outside.
This is good news.
So now that you've got 2 of them knocked out, one bleeding very heavily from a wound in its side. What are you gonna do?
Well, first of all, here's a question. Can I? Does it even allow me to tame one of these things for myself?
You could try to. The thing with rangers is they get one and then they can like level up their pet and their pet can get better.
I dead ass want the main one. I just want a pet. Be nice to have a companion.
So you could always
Yeah.
try, but it would just be like a
Yeah.
normal
I
pet.
could feed Leroy too.
You would have to
Oh.
release Leroy. Does that mean
Yeah.
Leroy's been getting leveled up this whole time?
No, Leroy's just like a little item in his
Leroy,
inventory. He's not a real
what do you
pet.
honestly think I could do with Leroy? I could have winged him with the
You could
cougars and be
steal
like,
it, maybe, like,
smack.
Maybe steal like a fucking, I don't know, couple of crumbs
gonna-
from people.
Gonna level him up and pickpocketing to steal crumbs. Yeah.
Freaking climbs into somebody's throat and just freaking
So what do you
chokes him
wanna?
out.
Andrew,
What are you gonna
I
do now?
do kind of want to wrap this up about now.
Garrick,
Um,
I would definitely advise just
I'm tying its
finishing
limbs.
that one off.
What, the
Which
one I knocked
one?
out?
Yeah,
There's two
it's
knocked
fucked.
out. You mean the medium one that's got a massive gash
Yeah.
down its side?
It's fucked. It is fucked. I would put it out of its misery. If you're looking
Agreed.
at kitty cat so badly, I would advise, that one over there. It's the smallest, probably gonna be the easiest to tame.
Respect that.
Just get it tamed and feed it well, and it should grow up pretty
How?
fine.
It's not badly wounded, is it? I can't remember.
No, it's
I
just been smacked across the head and knocked.
bonked it across the heads, but it should be fine. They're pretty
Alright,
strong creatures, so.
Plan of attack then. Kill the medium one. Patch up the tiny one. Tie its legs. Put a rope round its goddamn neck and tie it to a tree outside, and we'll go for a camp. And make sure it doesn't eat my throat when I
So-
go to sleep.
You're
Anyway,
gonna like
can we
hog
get
tie it?
into the? I'm assuming we can't get into the cave. I mean, as in we.
A-bomb couldn't.
A-bomb cannot.
No,
You
that
couldn't
couldn't.
fit.
Not a hope. Not a hope.
I suppose we'll just
Oh, to
You
carve
know-
up the other two for steak, but there probably wouldn't be a lot of meat available.
Yeah, there's not that much meat on.
no. More frankly,
Gather up your food.
what food is salvageable?
I would like my rations back and my
let's
dagger
see.
that's probably on the floor.
Both of you making investigation checks to find and gather up whatever food is salvageable.
Oh, I rolled intimidation. Where's investigation?
Reroll it.
Oh god, really?
And Barrick,
Like,
can
Should've
you
said-
can you
You
pull it
should have
back?
said with intimidating the food.
The food is scared of you.
That's the third one in. Actually, is that consistent?
Oh, okay. So
He finds all of it. Literally every scrap of food.
Every crumb.
Every
So, like, gathering up as much as you can. Not all of the food is there. Some must have been dropped along the way, already eaten, just torn apart into crumbs. But you do get back the majority. I would say like
Nice.
75% of your food is returned to you.
Ah, that's good. How much food did A-bomb get back?
Well, in like total, that's like 75 of everybody's food.
of everybody's food. You don't have to give him, all of his food back.
Do you want to like
No.
dish
I'm
out
on
the
a
food
diet.
evenly to everybody?
We will just divide all the food equally.
I need to
Except
now
Macaulay,
work
because
out.
he hogged a bit more food. So fuck him.
Here, I give you two. I did all the carving and I defanged the fangs for you. You could put that fang on the hilt of a blade. Like, come on, that's gonna look cool. And plus, you took
Fair enough.
food off.
Give the extra. If it's not even, give the access to A-bomb because he had the
Yes.
most.
I guess in total you lost 36 days of food.
Jesus.
Yep,
Jeez,
these things just pulled the sacks out and started dragging.
that is a sting right there.
No,
And-
my cheese is gone.
And you got 27 days back.
Oh, that's 4
So-
people. That's enough.
Terrible.
Divided by
no, we don't.
4, so everyone gets like 6 roughly back.
A-bomb's gonna be pissed.
Oh, he is gonna be very.
I'm gonna bring him the large one out.
Why don't you just give him the large carcass eye and help
Yeah, that's
himself?
what we're gonna do. I'm gonna
Just
give him
spit
a
roast him.
large carcass and he can just
Right. Okay.
do what he wants.
Eat it raw.
And then we'll just set up camp for the night. Get a fire going.
Okay. You would
So-
probably be able to scavenge enough food from the 2 you killed to feed you for today.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
fine.
That'll be nice. Can we leave it there?
Yes, but how are you tying this thing up? You're like hog tying its feet together, tying its
All of its
neck,
limbs.
and then run a tree.
Tie its neck around a tree so it has no options.